Right. So you're probably wondering, Gio got a new shirt.
How do we like it, guys? Has a nice little boat on it.
That's a sailboat.
And it's shiny.
It's a sailboat.
It's actually a clipper.
Wait, there was some controversy, speaking of the Clipper logo. Hold on. Let me find this now.
Controversy. While he looks for that, but yeah, let's address the elephant in the room, clearly. What happened?
Yeah, so Russell Westbrook is currently on the Clippers. And so I was like, we made a bet. We were like, if Russ doesn't get traded to the Nuggets in this amount of days, you have to clip your hair. And I'm like, damn, bet. And then here we are. No, that's not what happened.
Yeah.
Basically what happened was I actually wanted to buzz it off because, it just becomes a lot.
Never mind.
After a while, all the curls, it gets too hot. It's been like 100 degrees outside the past week.
Close to 100.
So it's just been time. It's been time.
Long overdue, some might say.
Yeah. And then everyone was doubting me. They said, Gio, you won't do it. You won't do it. And I'm like, come on, I'm that guy. I'm literally like Mamba mentality. Like, I'm Mamba. You know what I'm saying? I'm Mamba. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then...
So you're a snake?
You're built different.
I'm just built different, like he said.
You're built different.
Yeah,
Built different. And so it's like,
Like me on the
I just got to prove all the doubters wrong.
Like me on the dance floor.
Literally like Anthony on the dance floor.
Literally like Anthony
Literally.
on the dance floor.
Anthony on the dance floor, like, that's a sight to see, guys. Like, I hope you guys get to see. I hope you guys get to meet him. Because what a guy he is.
You don't want to see the sweaty back, but hopefully not in a suit. You'll see me dance.
Yeah.
A sweaty back was definitely iconic.
Yeah.
However,
he was literally drenched in sweat, but look, he was doing his thing. Nonetheless, every single girl on the floor, he got with each and every single one of them. It was insane. It was like, wow.
Bro was moving
he's in his element.
Bro was moving mad.
Bro was in his element. He was like a cheetah stalking his prey and would pounce like that. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Like a gazelle in the wild.
No, not a gazelle.
You're chasing the gazelle in the wild.
I would say more like a cheetah with a gargantuan nose.
Okay.
Thank you. Wait, what animal has a tiger? Has a pretty big nose.
Yeah,
or a lion.
I would say like a toucan or an anteater.
Yeah.
An anteater has a long tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like
not a long nose. Now I have to get a nose job now. This isn't going to be a fucking
Nah, you don't got to get a nose job, bro. God made you the way you are.
Comment if we get to 1 million subs. No, we're going to get to
don't even put yourself in that situation.
1 million subs.
1 million subs and Antoine will make his nose even bigger.
No, that's impossible.
He'll scale it up by 12%.
No.
But yeah, Gio.
Yeah.
Do you like it? I mean,
thoughts in the comments, please. I really want to hear what you guys think.
I did.
Buzz. Let me get the mic out the way so you guys.
I did a lot of the trimming. Tyler did a good amount too.
He may or may not look like a thumb at this moment.
Yeah, I kind of do like a thumb. If you want to see the profile,
look at the side.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Sorry, I can't take it seriously. Yeah. It's good though. It's better than the cruise cut. That's for sure.
Yeah, it went from a zero to a flat top. Curl.
You should get like a box like rookie Nerlens Noel.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that. And then he completely just shaved it down.
Now he's got, I think, dreads.
Yeah, he had the Knicks.
He be vibing.
I missed Nerlens Noel.
Yeah, he was good. But this past weekend, the three of us went to a wedding. Our dear friends James and Zoe tied the knot on Sunday. Just what a day. Let's clap it up. Clap it up for them. Well deserved. Absolute chads.
It is official, guys.
Officially official.
They are currently on their honeymoon in Jamaica. If you guys want to stop by and ask them how they're doing, they're probably the only white-black couple you're going to see over there. They're very few.
They could go over to the Bahamas and watch Clay practice with Team Bahamas.
Yeah, they could do that.
Could. It's a bit of a schlep away though from Jamaica.
Yeah.
But
if you're in Jamaica, tell them what's up.
Yeah, go tell him
what's up.
Yes. Tell him Gio sent you.
Yeah.
If you see a tall white man only wearing shorts, it's James.
It's Jamaica.
It's July in the Caribbean. Why wouldn't you be in shorts? But yeah, no, it was a really fun night. We have some pictures up from us on our social media accounts. If you guys want to go check those out. Gio was one of James's best men. I was a groomsman. Antoine was a guest.
Yes.
Just what were y'all's thoughts on the day?
You can go first.
Just a very, very good emotional day. I think the ceremony was I think it was all fun, but the ceremony, there was songs, one song, the vows. It was a really good planned out ceremony, and also the food. I wish we stayed longer just because I wanted to dance more, and because I'm a night owl. But it's okay. We had a fun time. It went by fast, which that's new. Always not new to us, because I feel like once we get to a certain age as adults, time goes by fast.
Oh, for sure.
A lot quicker.
We can talk about that.
It went by fast for him because we were there.
Yes,
like
for them
noon.
it was slow. I got there. Me and Prince got there 4. We saw with you guys for an hour, and then the ceremony started, and everything just flew. A lot of speeches is what made us cry.
Gio's speech was top tier.
Yeah, be honest though, was it?
No,
you were nervous.
I think Charles,
like the mic was shaking, but
yeah. Wait, how bad was it though? It was like this.
Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah. Charles' speech was the most probably. I don't know. No, they were all genuine, but his was probably the most acted out, genuine one.
Yeah, he was just flaming.
He wasn't nervous.
He was just flaming it for like 5 minutes. It was
Charles was like definitely comfortable, and
and
he had a really good speech actually.
He told me earlier he's a man of the moment, and he delivered.
He did. I'll say that.
So, but yes, obviously congratulations to James and Zoe. We love you all so much. And yeah, that was basically our weekend. Me and Gio spent practically the entire weekend together with the rehearsal and the pod and the wedding and everything like that. So, but obviously now we're here. Today's Wednesday at the time of recording, so this episode will drop tomorrow, which will be Thursday. We got a lot to get into today. Obviously, we have some news stories that happened. One that happened this morning, one that happened a few days ago. We obviously got to talk about the elephant in the room with LeBron and Bronny, the whole controversy there. We're going to talk about the free agency deals that happened, either ones that we might have missed during last week's episode or ones that happened after the fact. And then we're going to talk about a bunch of max contracts we're giving out. A lot of money's being flown around here in the NBA. So we'll touch on those. And an interesting bit at the end, the Celtics may potentially be up for sale later on in the decade. And obviously, it is that new and improved man over there on that side of your screen. It's his turn for shower thoughts, although since he just got a cut in the studio today, we're going to call it, I guess, something around a barber shop, whatever you want to call it. But basically,
we're going to call it Buzz Thoughts.
Buzz Thoughts? Okay.
Buzz Thoughts. I like it. It has like,
Not bad. Or we call it barbershop shower thoughts. It's a tongue twister.
Either one.
I'm not taking a shower in a barbershop.
Well, they wash your hair sometimes.
They definitely do.
Yeah, but I'm not. Or just washed thoughts. I don't know. Washed thoughts.
I think he might be
How about
becoming washed.
Great Clips Thoughts.
Great Clips.
Or Supercuts
Not
Thoughts.
sponsored. It'll be something along those lines. It's his turn for shower
Super
thoughts. Super thoughts. Yeah.
Yes, super thoughts. That's
or
fine.
maybe we'll call it like
Great Thoughts.
We'll call it like Maybe we'll call it like, I wish he had a big head. I could call it just like like forehead thoughts.
Yeah, I found out I actually have a very small head.
You have a small forehead, too. You only have like two heads.
You have a really small forehead.
Yeah.
Bro, think of how blessed you are for that.
Look at my forehead.
Your forehead.
Pull back the hair for the viewers.
The thing is, right, like...
Yeah.
It's like...
I have a widow's peak.
Yeah, you have a widow's peak.
You do. It would look bigger if your nose wasn't massive.
Yeah.
He keeps flaming your nose, bro. You gotta do something.
I gotta get a nonchalant nose job.
No, bro.
Disappear for a year.
Disappear
That's
for
not
an
the
entire
answer.
year.
That's not the answer.
And then come back. Go like on an expedition to the Amazon forest. Come back with a new nose and be like, I got my nose cut off by what's like a dangerous animal?
A cheetah.
I thought he was gonna say
I got my nose chopped off by
a shark.
A random axe that was thrown across the forest.
War accident.
And then the same person that threw that axe happened to just be a surgeon that lived in the Amazon rainforest.
Wow. And he stitched you back up all in one throw.
Surgically fixed my nose.
What a story.
With cartilage from a crocodile.
That's one for the grandkids.
Wow, so you're adding cartilage.
I'm gonna be half crocodile.
Half
alligator.
That's just gonna make your nose. That's gonna make your nose look even more pointy.
I'm gonna look like the lizard from Spider-Man.
Bro, literally, when we were
that's scary.
When we were at graduation a couple months ago, the first two things Kev said to Antoine, shout out Kev, he roasted his car, and then he roasted his nose.
Oh my God.
Listen, I have one of the nicest cars that a Jeep could make. It's just like it's a cross between a Wrangler and a Cherokee.
It's just a cube.
Well, if you're looking for a cube, the cube is the Wrangler.
But yours is a cube.
Yeah.
But it has like, if you look up a Jeep Renegade, anybody, you can definitely see the cube, but it has curves to it. It's not a Wrangler.
Take out your right earphone.
My right earphone. Why?
Just do it.
No.
Just do it.
Trust me.
He's wearing both.
Yeah, wearing both.
Take them off.
No, it was fine when we did.
The audio was
were
fine. Our for those that don't know, our audio sometimes glitches out. We think it might be because we have like a double mic. It might be giving us double feedback. I don't know.
We'll see after.
We'll see. But anything from you lovely gentlemen across from me before we get into today's episode?
Nope.
No.
All right. Well, before we dive in, obviously, I keep forgetting to do this in the intro. If you guys are new, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We just hit 1,500 subs, 1.5K. Oh, clap it up for us. Clap it up for us. We're making moves. Let's go. Yeah, obviously, we can't thank you all enough for the support. We're just blown away by it. We're on the push now for 2K.
Halfway to 3K.
NBA shit K, yeah. We're getting there. So, but yeah, we are at the halfway point to 3K. It's just, we're in for the journey. Daily content. If you guys are new, we upload daily. Tyler Schwartz, my name. Anthony Cavino, Giovanni Squatteri, back at the studio. I always forget to keep doing our normal intro. This is episode number 13 of the Floor Spacer podcast. This intro's gone off the rails. But obviously, if you guys do enjoy today's podcast, make sure you drop a like. Hit the little bell next to the subscribe button. That way you're notified every single time we upload. And if you are on Spotify, make sure you give us a 5-star rating, a follow on there. Answer the polls because we do upload a poll with every Spotify podcast. Make sure you follow us on our socials. Make sure you go blow up Gio's Twitter. Get him to 1 million followers ASAP. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's all the housekeeping out the way. I'll obviously touch on it later again in the outro. But lads, are we ready?
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Let's go. All right, into the first segment of the episode. And this actually just happened a few hours ago. I actually woke up to this news. Literally, I woke up, I opened Twitter, and I saw 24 seconds. I saw the Shams bomb that Kawhi Leonard has withdrawn from Team USA at this year's Olympics. So no more Kawhi in Paris, unfortunately. It is a shame. And he has been replaced by NBA champion Derek White. So interesting with there. We'll touch on that later. But I do want to read to you guys the USA statement on the decision to withdraw Kawhi from the team. So,
wait. So he withdrew himself?
No, he did not.
They withdrew him. Okay, gotcha.
So yeah. So
okay.
It's the statement came out about an hour after the fact, like a half hour after. So the statement says Kawhi has been ramping up for the Olympics over the past several weeks and had a few strong practices in Las Vegas. He felt ready to compete. However, he respects that USA Basketball and the Clippers determined it's in his best interest to spend the remainder of the summer preparing for the upcoming season rather than participating in the Olympic Games in Paris. So it seems that the Clippers and Team USA, in a collaborative effort, they came together and felt that it wasn't right for Kawhi to go out there and risk getting injured again, considering he missed the playoffs. He's missed the past few playoff series now with major, knee injuries. So I definitely understand the motive as to why they would want him not to play. And obviously, this has sparked a lot of controversy. I know Stephen A. is, big on Kawhi just retiring and stuff like that. But your thoughts on this decision for both Kawhi and for Team USA? Whoever wants to start.
You want me to go?
Yeah.
I think this was a smart decision. I don't think it should have taken probably, we're a month out from the Olympics? No.
Yeah.
2-3 weeks?
I think a few weeks out, yeah.
Yeah. I probably think this should be the same thing with Embiid. I feel like Embiid's in the same boat as Kawhi. I think he should do the same thing.
Oh, they need Embiid, though.
Do they?
No.
Yes.
You sure about that?
No.
Big man. They need a big man.
No.
They're not that deep when it comes to that position.
That's true.
They can bring in somebody to replace him. It's not that hard.
Yeah, but who's as good as Embiid?
I mean, I understand that, but you have scorers already there. Bam is there. That's another rebounder.
It's just Bam and Jaren Jackson. What other big are AD? And
then that's it. You have AD.
Hold on. Backtrack. Embiid shouldn't even be playing for Team USA.
He shouldn't, no.
Okay.
So take him out of the picture. I understand he's with Team USA, but he should be playing with Pascal for Team Nigeria. No, Team Cameroon.
Oh my gosh.
Team Cameroon.
Wow, bro,
You've just disappointed Prince so much.
Because you know what? I'm thinking about Prince. That's why, because we just called him Team Cameroon, not Team Nigeria.
Yeah.
He's playing for
Insane.
Team Cameroon with Pascal. But he's playing for USA because he wants the gold. But
He's horny for a ring.
He should also withdraw, and they need to fill that spot because I feel like it's going to be the same thing with him. He's more injury prone right now than Kawhi, in my opinion.
They're about the same.
They're about the same.
Embiid can play with one
Embiid
leg.
plays through them a
Kawhi
lot
can't.
more.
And Kawhi can't.
Kawhi cannot.
That's the only difference.
Yeah.
But if we want a healthy Embiid for the season and MVP Embiid, which is my prediction, he needs to withdraw and just focus on October.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. But we're still talking about Kawhi here, though.
Yes,
Yeah.
Kawhi. It's the same thing. Embiid. It's a smart decision.
Yeah.
He needs to sit out.
But man, do I wish we got to see Kawhi Leonard in the Olympics.
Yes.
Yeah.
How great would that be, man?
That would have been fire, bro.
Him, LeBron, Curry, like
Yeah.
AD, like all those guys. Like, oh my goodness.
I wish.
Clamping up everybody. Like that defense.
That defense would have been nuts.
Saric
Like-
White is now there. It's
I mean, yeah,
another
he's
defensive
good
player.
too, but
Yeah, but he's
Kawhi
not
is just
Kawhi.
a different breed
Kawhi is a
Yeah.
2-time Finals MVP and arguably a top 3 defender ever.
of all time.
I wish that Brunson took this spot, but he's injured, coming off the broken hand.
Right.
I don't think they would have picked him up anyways.
Yeah, they would.
Yeah.
They needed.
They would have taken up.
They,
You need
they-
you need to replace defense
you
with
need
defense.
defense.
I agree.
Yeah, you need
Which is Derek
something
White.
like that. Yeah.
But my goodness, Kawhi, 6'8", can guard anyone. Like, oh man, they lost a big time player.
Yeah, and look, I don't think the gold's not really a given for the U.S. anymore. Considering
yes,
how
it is.
talented.
I think-
Have you seen how talented the rest of the
France.
country, like France?
Okay, that's
Germany,
it. France is our only comp.
France, Germany.
Germany is not our comp.
Spain.
Have you seen the Canada roster?
Canada is not our comp.
Wait, hold on. USA plays Canada tonight in a friendly at 10:30. I'm gonna watch it. You better watch it.
Okay.
It's on Peacock. Do you have Peacock?
No, I don't.
Well, you're gonna get my login.
Okay, I bet.
And you're not gonna change the password on it.
I won't do that.
Make sure you do that.
Yeah, it's on Peacock. They're playing at 10:30.
Okay,
Yeah.
bet. I'll watch it.
A backcourt led by Aura Man and Jamal Murray.
And RJ Barrett,
Mid.
very mid.
Barrett's more mid, but Aura Man and Jamal Murray is
Those are
a really
great
good
players.
combo.
They have 2 All-Stars. USA has like 15.
Yeah, but a lot of them
It's
are
not
old.
about
Doesn't
And
matter.
going back to like Kawhi, I'm gonna bring up like another scenario where it's like the same thing with Tyler understands like Jacob deGrom with the Mets, what could have been with a Cy Young pitcher that has like a 1 ERA on average even below on a full season. Kawhi could average upwards of 35 to 40 points when healthy. It's a what could have been scenario with Kawhi. Same thing with DeGrom
Right.
when Tyler had them on the Mets. Same thing now in the Rangers for him as well. It's a shame because we want to see the greats play, and injuries are part of the game. We know it is, but there's got to be a way for him to avoid these.
Yeah.
It's getting to a point where it's a little excessive.
Yeah.
But I don't know what's going on with his body, what the treatment he's getting, what he's working out. But it's for his long-term health, it's not good. And for basketball, it's also not good because we're missing out. But he needs to focus on his health also outside of basketball because they are all still humans at the end of the day with their own healths.
Yeah,
So
but think about all the basketball moments and memories that not only he's going to miss out on, but everybody else that gets to hear the stories about Team USA basketball.
Right.
Like, we're missing out on a lot right there.
And I think this was probably his last chance to play in an Olympics.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know if he's going to still be playing by 2028 or at least not
Well,
at that kind
he's
of
not-
level.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing. But the other thing with this, obviously with the whole Kawhi not playing, there's a lot of controversy that stirred up around the selection of Derek White because there was another Celtic that just won Finals MVP that isn't going and didn't get the invite.
Wow.
And Jaylen Brown. And Jaylen Brown was also not selected on the cover of 2K25. It was Jason Tatum.
that was just announced today.
So, do you think Derek White was the right choice to replace Kawhi, or should it have been Jaylen Brown?
Well, do we know if Brown wanted to play?
Yeah.
He did. Oh, wow. Yeah, I think that's the wrong choice.
Because he posted on Twitter a bunch of like the emojis.
But the thing, Jaylen Brown's a scoring. You already have so many scorers
He could
on
defend,
that team.
bro.
He can absolutely defend.
He was
I know.
clamping up everyone.
He's a great defender, but does he want to play more offense, though? That's the thing. Does he?
I don't think he cares. I think
You
as
don't?
long as he gets to play, yeah, because he could do it all. He's one of the best two-way players in the league right now. So it's tough. And, Derek White is someone, I guess, that maybe won't hog the ball as much.
Oh, definitely not. He's definitely a great team player. Like, he swings the ball a lot, Derek White.
But regardless,
moves without the ball better than anyone.
25% of this team is Celtics players now, which is just nuts.
Yeah, I don't understand how Brown didn't get the 2K cover. I understand Tatum is the superstar.
Tatum had a better season.
He's He's also the face of the franchise.
Yeah,
so.
But they both are in their own ways.
Not Tatum.
It would have been great to put maybe both of them on the cover.
That would have been cool.
Would have been cool. But they went with him and Asia Wilson.
Asia Wilson.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
it's not a bad decision either way.
Right.
Just he's getting a lot of disrespect, I guess, from the other media side of the world, which is video games and USA.
Yeah. Well, like Tyler said in a previous episode, Jaylen Brown is a guy that's used to people doubting him, people putting all this, these low expectations or whatever it might be, so that like the chip in the shoulder just continues to grow.
Absolutely.
And it continues to make him better. So
he'll definitely
Tyler.
He'll definitely be on the next team.
Yeah. For sure.
No.
Without a doubt.
100%.
But obviously, the Olympics start in a few weeks. We actually have the groups as well, which I have in front of me. So in Group A, we have Australia, Greece, Canada, and Spain, which is absolutely a group of death.
That is a group of death.
Absolute group of death. Although, I mean, any early shouts on who wins that group?
Canada.
I'm thinking Canada probably.
Canada, Spain. I think Australia finishes last.
No, Australia could win the group. They got bronze in the last Olympics.
That's true. They're very good.
But that was when Patty Mills was different.
He's still Patty Mills for Australia is a different beast.
Yeah, that's true.
Nuts.
Playing for your country unlocks a different type of player.
It's very true.
Greece is probably going to finish in last because outside of Giannis, who do they have?
Thanasis.
Okay, yeah. There you go.
No, they got some
Hostess?
hoopers. They got some hoopers over there.
They do.
They have Papa Giannis.
They have Alex as well. Alex Antetokounmpo.
Yeah.
They have all the Antetokounmpos. But that's Group A. Group B, we have obviously the hosts with France. We have Germany. We have Japan, and we have Brazil. France or Germany. France or Germany should have no issue with
France
that group.
easy.
Yeah.
Germany, I don't see them being as good as we think.
Germany did just win the World Cup.
I know that. I don't see them being as good as we think.
Okay. I'm excited for the Wemby Rudy Gobert front court. We've seen a little bit of it so far.
Yeah.
But it's very good. And then in Group C, you have Nikola Jokic in Serbia, the 7-foot giants of South Sudan, Puerto Rico, and the U.S.
Wait, U.S. is going to play Serbia.
Yep.
That's going to be fun to watch.
That's going
to be a really good game.
It's going to be, no, it's not. It's going to be a blowout.
Because the last time Serbia played the U.S., I think it was in the 2016 Olympics. And Jokic had like 38 and 8.
It's pretty good.
Loss.
You know who's going to start that only game for the USA and is going to sit for the rest of the games?
Embiid.
Exactly.
He's going to start every game.
I don't know.
Why would they not start him?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But him against Jokic in the Olympics?
That'll be fun.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what the U.S. can do.
What if Embiid just completely destroys Jokic in the Olympics?
In that game.
Is that going to change any opinions that you might have about those two? No.
Because one on the greatest playoff runs ever, and the other one chokes in the second round. There you go.
And also, Jokic is playing for a team that's not Team USA.
Jokic didn't need to leave his country to try and join a better team.
Yeah.
He is the team. Yeah. So they have some good players also.
Serbia's not a bad team.
Yeah, Serbia. I think they got 3rd or 4th in the World Cup last year.
Okay. Yeah, they got some decent guys.
Fair.
Yeah, I think they got Bogey.
Yep.
So
they have those guys.
Yeah, they're a good team. So, but yeah, should be interesting.
Don't forget Jose Alvarado.
Right,
Puerto Rico.
Did you guys see his game that he had? He was going crazy.
I tell you, he's going to be the next Patty Mills.
Yeah.
Except he can actually.
He's a very good player.
Yeah, he goes all out, man. I love it.
Yeah, this should be interesting. I'm curious to see what happens in that group of death, though. Canada's the one team that's intriguing.
Yeah.
Because they kind of came onto the scene, kind of slowly but gradually. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of them have chips on their shoulders. A lot of playoff pain that they want to just take out on everyone.
We just saw also the Canadian soccer team reach the semifinal of the Copa America, and Canada's never had a good soccer team in years.
Exactly.
So Canada national sports are getting a lot of talk. Obviously, they only have one baseball team, one
They're-
basketball team.
They're good with the winter sports.
Hockey,
That's their bread and butter.
hockey is their bread and butter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, any of the Winter Olympic Games, it's all they have essentially. But they're starting to show their dominance. But any final thoughts on Kawhi, on Derek White, Jaylen Brown, the Olympics, anything?
No.
No, I'm just excited to watch.
Oh yeah.
Should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Have a lot-
10:30 p.m. I'm holding you to that.
What?
I'm holding you to that password on Peacock.
Yeah.
I'll give it to you.
I can
I'll
just
share it
give
with
you mine if
Just
you
give
don't
it
want
to
to.
him.
Yeah.
Okay, either one.
Yeah,
So-
fuck with his account. Don't fuck with my account.
I'm not gonna mess up your accounts.
Why would he do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah. Anyways, should be a lot of fun. We'll be covering most of the games. We'll definitely watch the one tonight and talk about it next week. So, but yeah, let's move on.
All right, let's
Yeah.
do it.
All right, into the next segment. It's been a few hours since the last segment. I had to go to work real quick, but we're back. And we had an interesting story up. This I didn't quite see coming, but looking back on it, I'm not all that surprised. And Kemba Walker, longtime NBA vet, played in Boston, played in Charlotte, played for the Knicks.
He was shit on the Knicks, so
He
that's
really
fine.
was, though.
That's fine.
He's officially announced his retirement from basketball as a whole. For those that don't know, he did play out with AS Monaco over the past year or so. I think they won a title. I want to say. I think they won the Euro. I don't know if they won the EuroLeague title or not.
Okay.
But I know they were pretty competitive out there. They were one of the best teams. But he's officially retired from just basketball in general. He put out a tweet or an Instagram post a couple days ago, just saying thank you basketball, and it was a long statement and everything like that. And about 2 hours later, there was a report from either Woj or Shams, it was one of them, that Charles Lee, now coach of the Charlotte Hornets, is bringing Kemba Walker on as an assistant coach.
I love it.
To be on the coaching staff. So he's officially secured his old head badge.
Yeah, and he's going back to where it all started.
Well, he started in Boston, but you're close. But
No, Charlotte.
wasn't he drafted by?
No, Charlotte drafted him, remember?
He was drafted. He was swapped with the Terry trade.
He might have been swapped.
No.
Yeah, he was swapped. He was traded from Boston in the Terry Rozier trade.
Yeah, but he played in Charlotte for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was after Boston.
No, wait.
No.
He did play in Charlotte.
No,
his
let's
entire- he was drafted in
let's go
Charlotte.
to the reference
You're right.
page.
I'm pretty
Anthony,
sure.
you're right.
Oh no, you are right. Sorry,
Yeah, I am.
that's my fault.
Let's go to the reference.
Wait, so who was Rozier flipped for then?
He played in Charlotte for literally almost a decade.
Who was Rozier traded for then?
I don't know.
Marcus, no.
I think it was Kemba.
I swear it was Kemba.
It was Kemba, but it was later on in his career. Kemba was in the league way before Rozier.
No.
He started out his career in Charlotte, then went to Boston, so it wasn't there. So let
Let me look up Terry
I'm just
Rozier.
doing
trade.
Terry Rozier Charlotte trade because that's gonna irk me forever.
How he got to
Well, Kemba, man, one of the greatest handlers of the ball I've ever watched.
Oh, absolutely.
He was almost
Yes.
Kyrie level. in his
that
prime.
was the sign-in trade.
Oh,
They
okay.
swapped both players.
See?
Wait, so was this when he reached the end of his time in Charlotte and
Yes.
then okay? I got it right using the wrong information. So task failed successful.
This was the sign-in trade. Yes.
So yeah, I knew the two of them were involved in a trade, but
Yes, they were.
yeah, Gia, I know you were a big Kemba guy, so I'll let you just cook up right now.
Not a huge Kemba guy, but
I
a
was.
very great shifty point guard in his day. In his prime, he was unguardable.
Oh,
Couldn't stay in front of him.
Cardiac Kemba.
Yeah, so he was the real deal. What do you got to say, Ant?
The only thing I remember is his buzzer beater over Chris Copeland, former Knick, in the Garden in the Big East tournament, where you guys let me know the video where he just crossed over Copeland, he
Yeah.
fell to the floor, hit a
Yep.
game-winning jumper.
Sheesh.
That's the cardiac Kemba moment, and then Charlotte, he played for a team that was I think semi-decent.
Nah,
He was an all-star there
trash.
for a few years.
They were trash.
They were trash. He started
I
out his
don't
career with the
remember.
Bobcats.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
around the last year or two with them.
He was good. They were
But,
trash.
Yeah.
It was unfortunate he didn't work out in Boston. That was their pre-Kyrie move.
I wouldn't say he didn't. No, I wouldn't say he didn't work out in Boston. I think they did. It's just he couldn't stay healthy.
You right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he was there. I think he was there the year after. He left the year they made the finals, right? in 22.
I remember.
Yeah, because
Let me look at
he was good. He was good because the Kemba moment I remember was back in 2021. Me and David, shout out David, we went to the Nets Celtics game 2. This was when we made our run to the second round. First, we literally got there. We're so excited. Everything's just ready to go. We watched game 1 prior, and the game starts. Kemba has the ball, absolutely just drops Blake, just steals his soul, and just hits a 3, or he hits a layup. And Blake's just like running backwards. It was just, it was crazy. I was just like, okay. And I think we won by like 35 after that game. That was the last Nets game I've actually been to. Was that game.
Wow.
So that's crazy. The last Nets game I was at was when Kemba Walker was still in the league.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, he played in Boston until 21.
Yeah.
Then went to New York in 21, 22.
Right.
Yeah.
Finished off in Dallas, and that was it.
I'm pretty sure he got traded and waived, or he just got waived and he signed with the Knicks.
Yeah, and he had a few good games with us. He had a triple-double.
I do remember that, actually.
He had the 10-10 triple-double
This was
or a 10-11-12.
This was the year they missed the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Everybody loved him because we had no point guard.
Yeah.
And when he came over, they were like, it was the end of the... It was
He had
the
a point guard.
Who?
Quickly.
No, he wasn't there. He was. I think it was his first year. He wasn't going to play us
super young.
playing time.
Oh.
RJ was there.
I keep
Randall was there.
Tibbs don't play rookies.
Nope.
Oh, yeah, he hated him from the beginning. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Then he loved him.
Tibbs doesn't like playing the young guys. He's just like...
Gonna have to. He's a lot of rookies this
Right, because Tibbs always coaches like he's coaching for his job. And when you do that, that's when you just lean on your vets. We saw Jock Vaughn do that a shit ton last season. But yeah, no, I mean, for me, I think Kemba's always been that guy that was never someone that was always talked about as like a perennial all-star, but he was never talked about as some scrub role player. I think he was like the perfect balance in the middle of someone that was just your typical good NBA player. That maybe some nights he plays like a role player, some nights he plays like a superstar, but for the most part, he actually just does his job every night. Yeah. And I always felt he was like a little underrated at times. Obviously, the knees fell apart later on into his career, which is unfortunate. He's unfortunately part of that, that list of what ifs of, what if he stayed healthy? So it's tough. But look, I think he's had a good NBA career. I think you could probably make the argument he's one of the best Hornets of all time,
for sure,
without a doubt,
for sure.
Yes,
but there's not many good ones. So
he's one of the. I don't know because no one talked about him a lot because I don't know if he was because he was in Charlotte. Then when he came over to Boston,
it's because the team was irrelevant. And it's Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah, but Kemba I always loved. I mean, he's borderline Hall of Famer.
I wouldn't say that.
I don't. As good as Kemba was, I don't think I'm trying to compare to like the players that have retired recently, like Blake. I think Blake is just
has a better chance,
a much better chance at getting it.
Yeah.
I just don't think Kemba's latter half to his career was not what it should have been.
No.
Yeah.
So it's tough, sort of, kind of looking through that scope.
I would love to see him be a coach in the league, and now he's getting a chance to be an assistant.
That's
Kemba's a funny ass guy. Just seeing him on the sideline smile. He's a really bright smile too, Kemba. Like when you see him, like when I always saw him smiling on the court with the Knicks when he had a triple double, he was so happy. But now he'll be there for Charles Lee. Maybe he'll take over if Lee fails. Who knows?
I doubt it. He's going to be like one of the tiny assistant coaches. Charles Lee got there. He's got like his high class assistant coaches, but I'm pretty sure all right, he was not there in Boston with Charles Lee. Charles Lee was only there in Boston for 1 year. But hey, look, maybe you got that past and present Celtics chemistry. But look, I don't think it's really anything. Nothing will form from this, I don't think. I just think it's a good this reminds me of the Nets' Kyle Korver hire a couple of years ago, kind of as like a player consultant. And eventually it kind of gets you ready for the next step. And I don't think if Kemba's going to coach, it's going to be in Charlotte, at least for now.
Yeah.
I think you could easily see him maybe, if he's if he's on the coaching staff now, maybe he spends a season or two there, then gets a higher assistant role maybe elsewhere.
Right.
Yeah, I would say
it'll be a progression.
I would say he's probably there to help mentor LaMelo. Hopefully he helps him with his injuries and not get hurt.
I mean, he's not
going to do that.
Yeah.
Help him out.
But he's definitely a mentor.
Brandon Miller's there. A lot of young guys there.
I see him on the Jared Dudley path. because I think Jared Dudley is this close to becoming a head coach, and he's been spending all that time with Dallas since he retired. And look, I think he easily could have gotten a coaching job this year. I thought he was actually who could have been a good candidate for the Lakers position, but JJ Redick obviously has the publicity and he's very relevant right now. Jared Dudley's more underrated behind the scenes. And I think Kemba Walker can become that kind of guy as well.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But
We'll see what role he has with what he does with Charles Lee.
yeah, I don't expect the role to be too much. I think
Yeah.
you'll see him on the bench shouting out plays, helping people, essentially just being almost like a vet voice without, taking up a roster spot essentially.
Right.
But
Hopefully he tells him to bench Grant Williams.
hey, look, when Grant Williams got traded to Charlotte, he was hooping.
Yeah.
He was playing
Yeah.
good.
Let's stop hating on Grant Williams because he's gonna show us next year how good he is.
No,
You're gonna see.
no. I would love for Antoine to just 1v1 with Grant Williams and Tobias Harris, and they'll
Oh
just
my
easily shut him up
God.
right then and there. I'll never understand the Tobias hate.
He's so bad.
Yeah.
He's literally awful.
Yeah, but like, have you seen Killian Hayes play basketball? Tobias Harris is.
But
clearly
we're not
better.
expecting Killian Hayes to be good. We're expecting Tobias Harris to be locked down.
Why are you
Yeah.
expecting Tobias Harris to be
Because
locked
the
down?
money he's getting.
Because the money, they chose him
Okay.
over Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, but no, they did not choose him over
Yes,
Jimmy
they
Butler.
chose him over Jimmy
The,
Butler.
the Sixers,
That is still
the
the
Sixers
same
fumbled
thing.
Jimmy Butler, and because they didn't want to lose Tobias Harris, they had to pay him.
I would lose Tobias Harris for a fucking bag of chips.
Okay, well you keep thinking.
I don't want him on the Knicks. What the hell am I going to do
but
with
I mean,
him on the Knicks?
by that logic, then, right?
What
If
the
you look-
hell am I doing with him?
By that logic, if you look at the amount of money Embiid's getting, why hasn't he gotten out of the second round? You expect him to play better in the playoffs.
Bro, that's a bad
now.
argument.
That's a bad argument.
That's a
Not a bad argument.
That's a bad argument, bro.
He's statistically the biggest playoff dropper in NBA history.
No, he's not,
He's
bro.
He is. It's literally a fact.
He's also playing with one leg. Can you please
That's
let
every
him,
year, bro.
Can you let him play with two legs and then we can talk about this?
He's played with two legs a few times and still can't get it done.
okay. Now he has a team. He has a team. Let's
Yeah,
see what happens.
We'll
this
see
year.
what happens, but
He has a team.
he has a team now. We'll see. But as for Kemba, any final thoughts? Any final statements regarding the man?
We're getting old. I feel like Kemba just entered the league like 2 years ago.
Nah, it's a long time ago.
Oh
Nah,
my
bro, it was
God.
like
I just
what?
I remember when he got
2000
drafted.
11,
10,
2010, 11, 12.
I remember when he got drafted.
Somewhere
It was like
around there.
yesterday.
Maybe you're old, but I'm young.
I mean, he's the oldest out of the.
I am the oldest.
He's
out of
the
all
oldest out of the
so
three.
Yes,
of us.
you're
Yeah.
correct.
Makes sense, yeah. So he is old.
Yeah.
UConn legend.
Yeah.
What
Yep.
did I say?
He walked so Shabazz Napier could run.
And who else was there on that team? I
That
don't
was about it.
remember.
That was about it.
That was
just
about
Kemba.
it.
But they were the 2-point guards that led UConn to a Cinderella run to a title.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know who else was there.
but yeah, let's move on. All right, into the next segment. Now, obviously, as we all know, sometimes we love to have a little fun. We like to get a little unserious, joke around a lot. We're going to get a little bit more serious just in this segment alone because when a bunch of legal shit happens, we have to discuss it because that's life, and it's one of the more not important, but I guess more. What's the word I'm trying to find? It's more. I don't know. it's not coming to me right now. But we have to be more serious around these sorts of cases and these sorts of news stories because it has a negative impact on a lot of people, if that makes any sense. So about I think maybe 9 or 10 episodes ago, we had first talked about the Jontay Porter betting scandal. There was a bunch of prop bets that popped up along like January, February, and typically prop bets for two-way players are not even a thing. Like they don't even happen for like high-end role players. They're mainly for stars. And you would see him intentionally just being removed from the game. And it came out in March or April that he was betting on his team to lose, and he was just betting on everything in general. And Adam Silver levied down a lifetime ban from the NBA on Jontay Porter. And we hadn't really heard much about this until about a few hours ago, where a tweet came out saying Jontay Porter has pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit wire fraud in a case tied to a betting scandal from earlier this year and can face up to 4 years in prison.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is wire fraud?
I don't know. I'm going to look it up right now.
Anthony, tell us.
There's different ways you could send money to people.
Oh, yeah, the wire transfer.
Wire
right?
you
Yeah.
can wire someone money instantaneously, and they get it on the other side of the world right away if they go to the exact bank.
Right.
Got you.
So the fraud part of that
Listen to this.
is
I have the definition right here. AI just told me. It says, wire fraud is a federal crime that involves using electronic communication to commit financial fraud. That's basically what you said, but it's the fraud version of it.
Essentially, yeah.
So it can include a range of crimes from small-scale phishing emails to large-scale schemes like money laundering.
Wow.
that would probably go hand in hand with the bets.
Yeah.
So I have an article from Bleacher Report here. It says Porter entered the plea during his arraignment at a New York federal court and was set to be released on a $250K bond. You know, any professional athlete's going to be released on bond no matter what, unless it's like a really heinous crime. His case is related to the ongoing prosecution of 4 other men who were arraigned on a charge of conspiracy to commit wire fraud. None of those men has entered the plea deal yet. It says, during his court appearance on Wednesday, Porter admitted to withdrawing himself early from games so he and his co-conspirators could win bets based on his performances. He also faced large gambling debts as he was attempting to clear. So he was in two-way players make anywhere from like $300,000 to $400,000, sometimes a little bit more depending on how good the team is. And he somehow found himself in gambling debt as an NBA player. I really don't know what else to say as far as that goes. And in court, he says, I know what I did was wrong, unlawful, and I am deeply sorry.
Wow.
Right. Don't know if he's necessarily sorry because, you know, he got caught.
He might just want less years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There will be a
Admitting.
plea deal, yeah.
We've seen a lot of betting stuff happening. We saw baseball, football. I don't think we've seen any cases where athletes have been in debt. I think this is the first time. I don't think when Calvin Ridley got suspended, he was in debt. I think he was just betting on the games.
For who?
Calvin Ridley.
Oh, Calvin Ridley, yeah. I mean, he's been in the NFL a while.
Yeah, I don't think he was in debt. I know one of the MLB prospects got banned this year for life. I don't think he was in debt. I think this is the first time we've been hearing that an athlete's in debt.
Right.
That's and he's trying to get the money back.
It also,
Yeah,
it also says, I'm sorry, Porter is scheduled to be sentenced on December 18th and faces a punishment ranging from just under 3.5 years in prison to a little over 4 years. Because he pleaded guilty, he's going to serve time. It's just a matter of how much.
Right.
Because
Wow.
he's also subject to hundreds of dollars in restitution and potential fines.
It's not much for him.
No,
Well, he's in debt, so.
He's in debt.
He's in debt.
Keep in mind, you know, and obviously, I'm sure Mike's going to help him out a little bit, but
Probably, yeah.
yeah,
I
I'm
don't-
not sure.
I mean, he has the money, but it's
his
not.
brother.
It's not Jontay's money.
Right,
It's his
brother.
money.
it's his brother.
Right. But it's his brother, though.
Yeah,
If your brother was in jail,
Yeah.
you might.
he's been
Help
going,
him out as much as he can.
that family's been going through, and Mike's on a max contract. Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
But even still, like, how do you get to that point as just a person, let alone an athlete?
Well, it's possible. Just like with anything bad or any quote unquote sin, it always starts small, right?
Right.
So like it doesn't go straight from being a normal person to jumping into money laundering and all that stuff. It starts small and it eases on and it gets progressively worse, little by little, step by step.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing
Yeah.
with what he's dealing with, and honestly, what the entire world is dealing with. So
Yeah.
This-
I don't think it's ever something that will get fixed. Essentially.
No.
Yeah.
It's a mental thing, of course, with Jontay and a lot of people that have problems with sports gambling. But I think with things like this, we have to blame the leagues because every league has a sportsbook sponsor now. And they were heavily against it before it became a thing. And now it's sort of the opposite. We're like, oh, please give us all, because they know how much money they're getting.
Right.
Every game you turn on, there's a prop bet or a parlay for that game that's on that is made into a graphic.
Yeah.
And we see it. Obviously, the players don't because they're playing the game, but we see it. I'm sure the players also are aware of what bets are on. I mean, I don't know. They probably don't care about prop bets, but they probably know what the over-under is.
Right.
Well, they always
Certain
do.
amount.
Because a lot of them have deals with the companies.
FanDuel or
LeBron has a deal with DraftKings.
Yeah.
And it's like, It's weird. It's just like it almost seems hypocritical from like the NBA's perspective at times because they're shoving FanDuel and DraftKings and BetMGM and Underdog down our throats, and
they have the logo on the court for FanDuel.
So it's like maybe if this is a problem, maybe you shouldn't be messing with these companies. That's almost kind of like maybe let them operate independently.
Yeah.
So these things wouldn't happen, but because it's all in house, it's easier for athletes to gamble on themselves.
Oh yeah, I can see why it's easy for an athlete, especially an athlete that's not making as much money,
right?
To get themselves caught up into that because it's like a quick $1,000 here and there.
Yep.
And you can control outcomes. It's like that temptation is so easy.
Yeah.
As an athlete, I think it's perfectly fine for them to bet on a sport, but it cannot be their own sport they play, their own team, and also
that they can. They
and
can
also
do that.
yes, that's perfectly fine. But do not bet on your team, yourself, or on the sport you play.
Right.
That's the only thing that I have for that.
Right. To me, like, look, I have an issue with this, and I don't. Because to me at least, whenever you're tarnishing the integrity of the game, when you have the power to impact something, that's a problem, and that can't be allowed. And I'm glad they levied that kind of punishment on Jontay Porter. But part of why I don't like it, and I'll get to the other part in a minute, but Jontay Porter is close to a nobody in the league. He was a two-way player. He barely played. He was just starting to play semi-decent. What happens if it's someone known? What happens if it's an all-star?
I was just going to bring up this question, is that we were always talking about it. What if it's somebody notable, like Calvin Ridley, who probably was the most notable name that's not basketball.
He wasn't all that notable, though.
Well, it's not that he wasn't all that notable. The NFL is not as strict with those kind of punishments. He only got suspended for a season. What if it happened to, let's not even think of like a superstar. What if it happened to like someone like Fred VanVleet? Someone that's an all-star, but someone that's like well-known, but not like a superstar. How would the punishment be if it was someone notable? If Adam Silver had balls, he would levy down the same punishment to everybody.
Yeah.
But knowing the way leagues operate, that's not what happens. They're strong with the weak and they're weak with the strong.
Well, I would argue that Fred VanVleet is replaceable. They could find someone like that. If we're talking a star, I'm thinking like if Jason Tatum gets caught, if Steph Curry gets caught, if Anthony Davis that's someone that changes your team for the future.
Well, the good news, you'll never have to worry about Tatum betting because he'll never be old enough.
No, and also he's making that's new contract guys insane. So
another thing is, what if a top rookie gets caught betting before he even plays an NBA game?
They'll kick them out instantly. Like I said, even if it's like, unless it's someone like Wemby, a rookie has not had enough time in the league to do anything. Yeah, they'll just get yeeted out of there.
Yeah, I think if it's a superstar, or if it's like a guy like Wemby, like a potential new face of the NBA. I think they're going to keep everything on the very, very down low, not tell anyone
exactly what they'll do.
It's going to be handled in-house.
Keep it under the radar.
Behind closed doors.
Exactly. Have a secret meeting and be like, we're not going to do anything, but we're just going to tell Wemby or whoever it is,
they'll give them
don't do this anymore.
Like a secret fine.
Yeah.
Or get training classes on free.
They'll do that regardless.
Mentoring.
But they'll do like a silent suspension. So they'll suspend him for a month. Let's say they'll say, oh, you have like a hamstring injury.
Right.
They'll sit him out for a month, and that'll be kind of like that. But I want to know from both of you, if let's say it was a superstar, let's say it was Steph Curry. If he was caught doing the same exact thing as Jontay Porter, what would you do?
What would we do as the commissioner?
If you were in if it was Commissioner Giovanni Squitieri and Commissioner Anthony Covino, and if this happened, the same exact thing happened with Steph Curry or LeBron James or whoever, what would be your punishment? What would you levy down onto that, knowing what Adam Silver did to Jontay Porter?
Justice would be served.
You do the same thing.
Justice would be served. It doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah.
What your name is. If you did it, you did it.
It's all about consistency.
I think you have to give the same thing to everybody because then you're opening up a whole different can of worms from the media, and you could open up other lawsuits from other places. Like if Jontay would want to sue Adam Silver for not giving the same punishment to somebody else.
Right.
You have another law. You have lawsuits upon lawsuits, and then just bad press, bad media, and then you get into a place where probably people around you are not going to trust you for what decision you're going to make.
Right.
Into certain things. So it's got to be the same. It's got to be consistency throughout discipline with anything in the NBA.
Plus, you can go first.
No, I was going to say Michael Jordan has a serious gambling addiction, and I personally believe that started when he was playing in the NBA.
I agree.
I mean, I don't think he was betting on.
I don't think he was betting on his own games.
On his own games,
but
maybe he was. But
he could have been, but I doubt it.
I don't. If anything, he was betting on his team to win because that's just what Mike would do. But
to make some Mike.
Yeah, but he definitely had gambling. I think he had gambling issues during his career, but the NBA kept it on the down low. They didn't want to get that bad media. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Plus, I think the other thing too, it's like if a star does get caught and they get lightly punched, let's say it's a season. I mean, that opens the door to other players. Like, oh, it's just a season. I could take a year off. And if I get caught, I get caught. Like, it's just I can make extra money just gambling on my games. But essentially, that's one part of it. The other issue I have with this is what we saw happen last week with two players in specifically, Miles Bridges and Kevin Porter Jr. Look, for me, I'm all about consistency. I think no matter what you do on or off the court, if you do anything heinous, whether it's a crime or tarnishing the integrity of the game by doing something like that and violating league rules, everyone should be punished the same. And I would argue what Miles Bridges and Kevin Porter Jr. did is substantially worse.
Yeah.
And they were given basically a season off.
Yeah.
Miles Bridges got 30 games suspended.
Right.
For what he did. We can't really mention it because we could get in trouble for it.
And he got a massive payday.
And he just got a $75 million contract.
Right.
That's just a horrible look.
I can't explain why.
Why?
The reason is the gambling affects the league and affects how people view the league and all that. So if they handle that decision that in the right way, they're not going to look bad, right? And also, when money's involved, people start like worrying about like things. Become.
If I could play devil's advocate, I would argue this is kind of the exact same thing. It does affect the league.
Yeah, it does.
Because if you're a fan of the NBA, and it's bad enough when you have obviously like the gambling and stuff like that. It puts a bad image, but how do you view the league who just paid an abuser, a serial abuser, $75 million? He gets the opportunity to get a second chance when he didn't deserve it because he's done it multiple times. That's been my issue with the whole thing. I thought when Kevin Porter Jr. got cut by the Thunder, I thought he was going to be out of the league forever.
Yeah.
And of course, now that he's back, it's just a shame.
Do you have the same viewpoint with this as the Ime Udoka situation? Should he have not gotten the job in Houston after what happened in Boston?
The thing is,
that relationship was consensual. I just want to put that out there.
It was consensual, but here's the issue. Here's the difference with this, right? Because we saw this happen with that one YouTube group. I forgot who it was. There was a consensual workplace relationship.
Oh my God! Wait, I'll look it up. Keep talking.
There's no rule in the NBA. They violated a Celtics team rule. Still ridiculously stupid.
Right.
But the thing is, it's not. Cheating is not something. Cheating is frowned upon, but it's not like a law. Like it's not something like if you cheat, you go to jail.
Right.
That's like no one should cheat, right? Like that's the biggest dickhead move you can do.
It was the Try Guys.
The Try Guys, yeah. Essentially, those kind of situations are typically handled in house too, and I easily think the Celtics could have handled it a lot better.
Yeah.
Do I think Udoka deserved to coach the Rockets? Not really, to be honest. I think if you fuck up like that on that kind of stage and you violate a team rule like that, it's just a bad look because I'm assuming that rule is in any business setting. No? For those that don't know, me and Gio majored in sports management. We've taken plenty of classes throughout our time in college where that's been brought up, and you don't mess with anyone you work with, especially if you are tied down with someone else. And that's where things are sticky because when something like that happens, there's a balance of power. With someone like Ime Udoka, you're you have a very high standing in the Celtics organization, and someone low down can't get that sort of treatment. That's just not how it works. So it's just unprofessional. It sets a bad example.
But here's the thing, though. Ime was the only one who got fired.
Right.
The woman didn't get fired, even though it was consensual on both parts. They both had a part in the relationship.
I think she got disciplined.
I'm pretty sure
she wasn't fired.
Yeah, no, she wasn't fired, but she got disciplined.
She got disciplined.
Yeah. I don't think they would have fired Ime Udoka if it wasn't public.
Yes, they were trying to keep it in-house. Somebody leaked info to the media, and that's how it happened.
I think he probably would have. He was suspended for violating a team rule.
Right.
And once they found out what it was, at that point you had to just let him go.
Yeah.
Because there's no going back once you find that out. As soon as there's any balance of power issue like that, or power, whatever it's called, at that point there's no turning back. But I don't put that in the same viewpoint as Miles Bridges and Kevin Porter Jr. because they're basically convicted felons. Yeah. Miles Bridges is serving 3 years of probation.
Yeah.
The way that we've been seeing this with the NFL, the way they handled DV stuff, it's very poor. I don't know what the protocols are for like how they do it. It's always been talked in a question, but yeah, Miles, great player, great basketball player, but not a great person. Same thing with Kevin Porter.
Far from it.
Porter's not a great basketball player either.
No, they really. But they're when they play, they're respectable, but as people, they're not.
Yeah, like with Bridges, great player, but not great person. I don't know how his Charlotte teammates view him, how Kemba Walker, how those guys are, but it's very bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously the people that are on their team, they're going to defend them. That's just what teammates do. But as far as that goes, yes, I do. Looking at what happened I understand everything that's gone on with Jontay Porter. I think he should be punished, but I think there's got to be some consistency with the guys that do heinous stuff off the court.
Agreed.
Because it's a bad look if you have those guys out there making that kind of money and doing whatever they did and not getting punished for it. I think it's inexcusable. So,
yeah. At the same time, though, I don't really want to alienate these guys. They're still people, but obviously they made bad decisions, and justice wasn't really served in a couple of those situations. So it's like, obviously you're going to have feelings about that. You're going to have like negative feelings towards these people, but let's not alienate them, but let's obviously point out what went wrong, when it went wrong, and why. Because
my thing is, right, like, I do believe in second chances, but you don't get that second chance until you've, done time or done whatever for the first thing you did.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
Did you even learn your lesson?
Because no, I guarantee you Bridges and Porter learned nothing. Kevin Porter went to Greece and played for a year and came back. Miles Bridges was suspended for 30 games. John Morant got 5 less games. For having a gun on an Instagram Live. It didn't hurt anyone.
Right.
Yeah.
It's obviously a bad example as just a public figure, but what do you like? I don't understand why leagues don't crack down on these kinds of cases because they need to. And if these guys were normal people, they'd be in jail for decades. Yeah. That's just what it is.
Yes.
Unfortunately, when you're a professional athlete, you get the benefit of the doubt a lot of times.
Well, that's how it goes when you got money. You get the best of the best lawyers. You get the best of the best resources and all that. So
exactly,
that's the world we live in. If you got money,
strong with the weak, weak with the strong. That's essentially what everything is.
And also, the people that Miles, I don't think would keep up Miles, but I'm sure, he helped out. I don't know if he's still together with that girl, but I'm sure he gave them a substantial amount of money probably. To just keep shut. And just let me do my thing.
Exactly.
That's what money does as well.
Exactly.
Money
talks.
One of my high school history teacher always said money is the mother's milk of politics. And it really is. It definitely. Shout out Mr. Hoffman, legend.
That's a great quote, actually.
It really is.
Mother's milk of
Money is the mother's milk of politics. But yeah, any final thoughts on this whole thing?
No.
Just pray for MPJ, man. He's been going through it.
Yeah. We got to. For
good bounce back year. He had a good year, so a good season in a row coming up.
Yeah, he's probably doing a lot now in the off season now with this stuff.
Absolutely.
Just got to keep, when he gets back, just ball out.
Yeah.
And that's it.
It's crazy. I feel like he's been in the league forever. He's only like 25.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Or like 26.
Yeah, he's not even in his prime yet.
He's going to be so good in a few years.
He'll be very good.
And soon, Gio will be rooting for that team.
Once Russ gets
I will be.
Once he gets there.
But yeah, let's move on. All right, into the next segment. And it's time to talk about the GOAT. LeBron, LeBron James. The 97-year-old man himself, the balded geezer out in Los Angeles. LeBron James has agreed to a 2-year, $104 million maximum contract extension. Now, I think he took $3 million less than that to stay under the second apron with the Los Angeles Lakers. It had been rumored before that he was going to take less to try and get someone else to join the Lakers, whether it was Klay Thompson or DeMar DeRozan or I think Buddy Hield was an option, weirdly enough. But there were a few players that were on a list that LeBron would have taken a pay cut for. The Lakers whiffed on everything, which honestly doesn't really surprise me that much. But bro's going to be 40 in December, and he's making $100 million still at the top of his game. That is just
crazy.
Unreal.
That's crazy.
It's much deserved.
Very inspirational, generational.
Yeah.
Probably not go far in the playoffs, but it's okay.
Look, here's the thing.
Trade-off.
The players on Team USA all voted LeBron as the best player on the court.
Yeah.
So it's like he's still
with him on
dominating.
the court. It's always going to be LeBron.
They interviewed, I forget which Thompson twin it was. They interviewed him after he's on the select team, and they said dude's 40 years old and still the best player on the floor.
Yeah.
Like, it's just insane.
That's crazy.
And I don't think we'll never see. You'll always see athletes old playing well. I don't think we'll ever see this kind of like.
Oh, definitely not.
I wouldn't say
domination.
I wouldn't say pure domination, because there's a lot of athletes at that age that can dominate at that age. It's just I don't think you've ever seen peak athleticism like this, being so in shape at this kind of age, still being touted, breaking records.
We've never seen a career-ending injury for LeBron, whether that be a torn ACL, torn Achilles. He's never had anything major that
durability
we've seen, like a KD injury, a Klay injury.
I do think we've
seen minor things.
He's had some injuries though over the past few years that's really hampered the seasons. Like when he rolled that ankle against Atlanta a couple years ago, and the foot injury last year, and you can clearly tell he's not 100% come playoff time. And that's kind of what I thought the Lakers kind of did. They really pushed for that in-season tournament, because I think that they knew that's where their ceiling was. But look, again, I mean, if you look at the scope of the Lakers' past couple of seasons, it really hasn't been all that bad. You got to the conference finals, and you just went up against the best player in the world, and nothing really you could do about it. But and then the year afterwards, I think I don't want to say they beat, but they can compete against anyone else in that first round except the Denver Nuggets. So, look, and I think I'm interested to see what the Lakers try to do here with LeBron, because I know D'Lo's opted into his contract, and I'm assuming they're going to start shopping around him and Austin Reeves. It's kind of like a package deal together. I know Rui's been thrown around in some trade rumors to try and maximize these final 2 years with LeBron, because all signs point to him playing as long as the Lakers can contend and compete. Which basically means he should have retired last year. But I don't know what they're going to do as far as that goes. But I think the real reason we're going to talk about LeBron is to talk about the big elephant in the room, or I guess the junior elephant in the room, of Bronny James. Was signed to a 4-year, $7.9 million contract, making $2 million a year as a two-way player. Someone that's probably going to spend most of his time in the G League.
That's crazy.
Someone that was... when the Lakers selected Dalton Connect, like the 17th or 16th pick, Laker fans were going nuts. Steal of the draft, insanely amazing. He has not been paid yet.
No.
That's ridiculous. And he's going off right now in the summer league games. He's got like 14 and 7.
He's at 20 right now.
Yeah, and they paid LeBron James Jr. before Dalton Connect.
It makes sense.
Yeah,
LeBron's basically the guy paying him, so it's
LeBron's essentially the owner, the coach, the GM, the janitor. He just does everything.
The janitor,
the broomstick.
Yeah, pretty much.
He teaches the cheerleaders the dances.
No, he is the cheerleader. He is the cheerleader on and off the court.
I guarantee you, when he signed that 2-year deal, he probably said, "Give $7 million to my kid."
No, yeah, probably.
I mean,
was it.
LeBron. It's coming out
Probably
of LeBron's
took a pay
pocket.
cut.
No,
Yeah.
Yeah, he took the pay cut.
That's the real reason why he.
That's
took
the only
3-0
reason why he
pay
took the
cut.
pay cut. Is for his kids. He
It
wouldn't.
was
He
for
was
Bron.
not taking it for DeMar.
And nothing about if you're in Bron's situation, what are you gonna do? I'm doing that too.
Oh, obviously.
I'm giving
yeah.
my son,
I
an
would-
extra $3 million.
I would give him the standard contract if I'm his dad, but like, pay Dalton Connect, man. Like,
Yeah.
like he was touted as the steal of the draft, and bro was asked 2 questions at his press conference.
The
True.
fifth to last pick in the second round does not make $7 million.
Yeah, no.
It's very rare you see a second round pick make a standard NBA contract.
No.
Yeah.
Typically, the first round picks get standard deals with the 4th year option, with the team option, and usually the top 10 picks will make a lot more. They'll make,
I know
and Wemby's making 12 per year.
Yeah.
The Knicks gave Tyler Kolek the most the second round pick can make, which is I think $4 million.
Yeah. Well, not
So
Tyler Coley. Yeah, I think he's making a little bit less than that.
yeah, 3 point something.
Is that
over
per
4
year or
years.
is that?
No,
oh,
it's
oh, and total. I think
total.
Bronny's making the most. Bronny's
Yes.
making $2 million a year, which for obviously I know inflation is a thing, but Cam Thomas I think is making $2.1 million. Isn't that ridiculous?
Yeah.
I think Dayron Sharp's making the same amount. We're somewhere in the ballpark of that.
Yeah.
But it's rare you see a second round pick get that type of contract, let alone the 55th pick of the NBA draft. So definitely sort of interesting.
You know what it is? Family.
Dom Toretto would be proud. That's for damn sure.
Family.
All for family.
Family.
But looking
Family.
looking from a
Hey, really?
Family.
looking from
Family.
a non-family perspective as a basketball purist, do you see? Obviously, we see nepotism a lot in this
But
league and
you
stuff like
can't
that.
blame Bronny for that.
I'm not talking about Bronny. I'm talking about the situation of just the Lakers being the Lakers. Do you think they were shameless for doing this?
Define nepotism.
Nepotism is essentially like giving a what's the best way to word it? Almost like Thanasis getting a shoe deal with Nike.
I don't think it was right for Rich Paul to be calling every team saying, don't draft him because he's going to play now. What if a team actually wanted Bronny to see what he brings to their team?
Well, no one was gonna.
Like-
it was pointless. No one was gonna draft him except maybe Phoenix. But low key, honestly, especially with the money he was gonna get, I would have fucking took him and I would have held the Lakers hostage for it. You give me a first. If you're that desperate, give me a first round pick for him. I would.
What if
I would do it.
What if Bronny actually wanted to prove himself on a team that would actually play him minutes?
Right. I mean,
Right.
he's going to get minutes the first week of the season just because the Lakers want to break that record, just in case like any injury happens to LeBron.
Oh
or
yeah,
anything like that,
just
and then he's
have
gonna
the
spend
first
time with
ever
the
father-son duo.
But like, I'm shocked.
play.
Like, I'm shocked Danny Ainge didn't take a flyer on Bronny
Yeah.
because he's the type of guy to do it. That's why he's holding the Knicks hostage for Walker Kessler, even though you're not going to get him anyways. But I would have played hardball with the Lakers. I'm like, it's fine. You want Bronny? You got to pay for it.
Wow.
If he wants to go play in Australia, oh well. He was probably not going to turn out well anyways. You know, it's a second round pick. Who cares? Like they already got a steal in the second round anyways. It's fine. So essentially, let me find the actual definition for nepotism.
Yeah.
They did. One of the basketball pages tweeted out, "What do you call this combo between Connect and Bronny?" I called it La Nepo Connection.
I like that.
So nepotism is the practice among those with power or influence of favoring relatives, friends, or associates.
Okay.
Remember during history class when I think it was Andrew Jackson got impeached for like a spoils system, hiring your friends and stuff like that.
Right.
That's essentially what
Got you.
that's essentially what LeBron's
Nepotism,
doing.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
and LeBron's probably around the same age as Andrew Jackson anyway, so it's fine. But
So what was the question that you asked?
do you think this was shameless from the Lakers?
Shameless.
Yeah.
What do you mean by shameless?
You know, shameless, like having no shame of like, you know, having Rich Paul or
Yeah.
just like call teams. Like,
Just
don't
having
draft him, or he's going to play in Australia.
having the power to do this, and the league and NBA just go along with it.
Yeah.
Well, the
I mean,
NBA has nothing. The NBA
Well,
can't
just
do
the
anything about it.
league, just having the power.
Like essentially from the way everything that happened before he got picked to the contract to the publicity to everything of that nature. Do you think it's all been shameless?
Yeah. I don't think, like, I think they wanted to do this. I think this was their plan from the get-go.
Yeah.
You know,
Essentially,
and I
do you think it's bullshit? Essentially,
What, the whole
the whole
situation?
thing, yeah, the whole Bronny
I mean,
stuff.
It happened.
I'm rooting for Bronny.
Right.
I still don't know.
I would have loved
NBA talent.
I would have loved to see if he was an actual lottery pick. And
wouldn't
what
s-
would have happened.
I wouldn't say necessarily around the lottery pick, but like, and this is where I think that there is doubt with Bronny because Bronny should be able to make a name for himself. I think he should have stayed in school for another year and then gone. I think he would have been maybe a higher second round pick, but I think
Okay.
even then, I don't know if it's because LeBron's so desperate to play with his son.
Yeah, do you think Bron pressured Bronny?
Right, but something tells me that the fact that this happened, the contract he got, there's probably doubt that he'll turn out to be a long-time NBA player, right?
Why you say that? Because he got a
'Cause
lot of money. You don't think
I wouldn't
he's
say
gonna
because he got a lot of money, but the fact that this was the road of him trying to make a name for himself has been completely thrown out the window. Making a name for, like, obviously having the name LeBron James is one thing, but like let's say he got drafted to Cleveland or he got drafted to Orlando, he got drafted anywhere else where his dad's not there, and just got a standard two-way deal, right? As a second round pick always would, or even if he got undrafted and signed a two-way deal, this would have given him the opportunity to earn his way on. Where now with the Lakers, he doesn't have to do anything, essentially. And that almost makes me wonder that does LeBron have doubt in his own son?
I think his mindset is still go out and hoop to the best of your ability. Doesn't matter if everything's given to you because that's how it's been his whole life.
Right.
He's LeBron's son, right? So everything he's ever gotten, he didn't have to work for.
Maybe it's more of an optics thing then, because maybe now any chance for good optics are gone. Because obviously anything he gets now is just going to be, backlash, being LeBron's son, stuff like that.
You're saying any
Nepotism.
like minutes he gets or
anything that he gets from the Lakers, because he could go out there and drop 60 points in a G League game and people are going to try and discredit it.
really?
Yeah. That's what's going to happen, unfortunately. That's the one negative of him going to the Lakers. And I think it's just not even much of just because it's his dad's there. I think it's just the Lakers in general. The Lakers and Knicks are the two biggest markets as far as teams, because obviously the teams around them, like the Nets and the Clippers and the Bulls and everything, they're all big markets, but those are the two that have the most like hardcore media just absolutely just destroying you.
Yeah.
And then you'll get your industry plant reporters like Nick Friedel, and they'll try and cause havoc, and that's kind of what it's turned into. But look, it is what it is, essentially, at the end of the day. I hope the kid turns out to be a good NBA player. I just wish he wasn't drafted to the Lakers. I wish he had signed undrafted somewhere. Like if he went to I don't know, anywhere. San Antonio,
Right.
Yeah.
Cleveland, Boston, Washington, who cares?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like he's used to being in the spotlight. He was born in the spotlight. Like this. I don't think this is gonna phase him. We're just gonna get to see if he's talented enough to play in the NBA.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't think it's just gonna. I don't think the Lakers are gonna outshine Bronny necessarily.
Yeah.
No.
You know?
I'm more curious to see what they do when LeBron retires.
Yeah.
If they trade him right away.
Yeah, well, it depends on what, because I know LeBron wants to own the Vegas NBA team,
Yeah.
but does he stay involved with the Lakers until that happens? Because if he stays involved with the Lakers, then Bronny's there to stay. But
If he owns that Vegas team, he's going to ship to Vegas.
yeah, I'm assuming
As the
so.
first player of that team.
Could you imagine?
That's
As the
hilarious.
first player of that team.
Well, we'll see, man. I'm rooting for Bronny big time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
I'm in the
to
same
do well.
boat as
Yeah.
you. I hope he does well.
I want him to
But-
do well.
I want to see him drop ankles. I want to see dunk or a lob to his dad.
That'd be
Vice
cool.
versa.
We're definitely going to see him play off the bench on opening day, whoever it's against, and essentially that will be that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we do wish Bronny the best over here.
Yes,
we
we
are
do.
we are not we are no haters. We just don't like the Lakers. Essentially, that's kind of what
Yeah.
it's
I don't
kind of
mind.
how we all view.
I don't mind the Lakers.
That's because Russ used to play for them, but they treated Russ like shit. So
They did.
like,
They did.
yeah.
They did. They did. You're
They
right.
treated all the vets they brought in like.
But I like Reeves, so I'm still kind of there.
Right.
They
Until he
should.
gets
They
traded.
should have kept Caruso. They should have kept Bi. They should have kept.
No, they didn't need to. They didn't need to keep.
KCP.
Yeah, they should have just kept Caruso, KCP, and Kuzma. They should have just
Yeah.
kept all three of them
Yeah.
because
They would have had a championship by now.
it worked. Well, they already got a championship,
I don't. This.
so could add more.
I don't care.
But yeah, any final thoughts on this whole situation?
No.
All right, let's move on. All right, into the next segment. Didn't plan on essentially doing this, but we missed a few signings last week.
I think just one, but there's been multiple.
Yeah, we missed a couple signings, and obviously a bunch more happened since then. So we're kind of just going to go through all of these. We're going to go in alphabetical order by team on just ones we had missed.
Yeah.
And we'll kind of cover it from there. There's some quick ones that we don't really need to kind of go through. Did we talk about the Derek White extension?
Yes.
We did. Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Obviously, one I just want to talk about real quick. Trendon Watford is back on the Nets. I've been wanting this to happen. He's actually...
Who was that?
He was Cam Thomas's college teammate.
Who the heck is this guy?
Who is it?
Cam Thomas's college teammate.
Why do I care?
Because he's good.
It's not Russ. I don't want to hear it.
I mean, the
Exactly.
Knicks wanted Trendon Watford too. So
Good answer.
Who? OG Anunoby?
yeah, sure. You could have had both of them.
Who?
Mikal Bridges?
Mikal Bridges?
Yes, Mid-Kale McCone Bridges.
You mean the guy's going to drop 40 on your ass twice this year?
You mean when Cam Thomas drops 40 on his head top?
Oh, okay. On 5 of
Yes.
35 of shooting from the field.
Cam Thomas was actually shooting 60% true shooting this year.
5 of 30 from the field, 10 free throws made.
You mean Jaylen Brunson?
MVP? Yes.
Foul baiting? Yes.
Foul baiting? Cam Thomas, yes.
Cam Thomas is not foul bait.
We'll see when they play.
Cam Thomas gets buckets.
We'll see when they play.
And just
All
remember,
right.
when you blew that 28-point lead at the Garden, Cam Thomas
Damn.
hit a 3 right in your face to win the game.
It wasn't my face. I wasn't playing. It's wrong.
But
It's
anyways,
grammatically wrong.
I'm glad he's back. He's for our rebuilding phase. He's a good piece for us, and he does have that chemistry with Cam Thomas. And I think he's gonna be a good, just like backup point forward ball handler essentially. So he played in Portland for a while. So I'm sure my aunt is close with Trendon Watford. That's pretty cool. But moving along down, we talked about Patrick Williams.
Yes.
Okay, we did talk about Patrick Williams, so we'll go back. We don't need to talk about that then. Let's see, what else do we have? We're kind of doing this on the fly. Here we go. We got one. First one. The Denver Nuggets have agreed to a 2-year, $10.3 million contract with former Warrior Dario Saric. So they're building a European empire over there. They just re-signed Vlatko Čančar as well to a vet minimum.
Yeah.
Thoughts on this signing? Because I think it's clear the backup big was a problem last year for them.
Yeah. I'm
I like it.
fine. I love Saric.
Yeah. It's a good pickup.
I think he'll be backup center power forward.
Yeah, I think he'll
Just
do it.
ride
No,
it
he'll
out.
be backup point guard.
He's not a... Okay.
No,
Bro, James...
All they need to do to have an A-plus offseason is just get Russ and they're ready to go.
yes.
even if they get like
Because
Gary,
they need depth.
even if they get Gary Trent on an MLE, I think that's still
That's
a W
fine.
also.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that is.
But I think I texted James about the Reggie Miller at point guard when he did it, and he was like, I saw one of the drafts recently where Antoine put every single player in the wrong spot.
What? I didn't do that. That's completely wrong. I always put every player
man, I
in
love
their
it.
respective spot.
Yes, sure, yes. That's why Reggie Miller's a point guard with Dario Saric.
Reggie Miller is a point guard.
Exactly. So I'm assuming that means you're going to start Mitchell Robinson at point guard this season?
No, he gets left bench warm.
Remember when he put Ben Wallace as shooting guard?
I didn't know
Bro.
about Ben Wallace's game.
You
I
would
didn't know
put
about-
a big guy at power forward. You put a big guy like point guard or shooting guard. I forgot who it was.
Who, me?
Yeah, it was like a
No,
recent draft
remember?
we did.
Yes, he did. He put
You put someone there.
He drafted too many guards.
No,
Oh, you're
that
talking
was,
about-
I'm talking about the one a few weeks ago.
Oh
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
gotta
We have to
find
watch
it,
back.
Yeah. We have to watch back, but
no, but this is Dario Saric is a nice piece.
it was a good signing. I
Very
think.
nice piece.
We saw him get his ass whooped in the club the other night in that bar fight with Zubats, but yeah,
He actually fought with Zubats?
no, they got into
No,
a fight
I
with
thought that
someone
too.
else.
They fought somebody together.
Yeah.
Oh, they killed whoever they were fighting. I know that for a fact.
Dario Saric got put on his ass.
Oh, did he? By who?
Some random
guy?
European dude. Yeah,
He was big?
I'm assuming so. Yeah.
He had to be, bro. Dario
Yeah.
Saric, like,
I know it's hard to
If
tell.
if Jokic was there, it would have been game over.
Yeah,
huge.
dude is.
Nah, but Zubac is huge too.
Yeah, Zubac
But
is 7
he's
foot.
he's
7
not
foot
he's
and
not
he's jacked.
Jokic.
I'd be more scared of Jokic's brothers.
Yes.
His brothers are
Yes,
tanks.
yes.
They are.
But,
they are.
but yeah, definitely a good signing for Denver. I think it's definitely a much better option than DeAndre Jordan. I think he'll be a good mentor piece for Deron Holmes as well.
Yes.
So that's cool. The Pistons re-signed Simone Fontecchio on a 2-year deal. So that's pretty neat.
This is A. That's a triangle. A. plus. Family. I wish this would have been a Knicks signing.
Family is interesting.
I wish this would have been a Knicks
The
signing.
Knicks can't afford bro.
Yeah.
The Knicks cannot afford. They're hard cap now, so
We
yeah,
got to
do
come up
something.
with like a
I'm
video.
fine with Detroit because I love Detroit.
We got to come up with a video of like Anthony bloopers.
We do.
It
You
would
know what I
be
just
so
realized?
Triangle
You-
plus.
You know how he loves bad teams. Like he loved the Kings back in the day.
Yeah.
He likes the Wizards. He likes the Pistons.
Yeah.
That means he's gonna like the Nets.
No. I like Cooper Flag, but not the Nets.
Oh, absolutely. Cooper Flag in a Nets uniform will solve all my life's issues. Or Ace Bailey. I'll take either or, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But
East Bailey, yeah.
and the Pistons also claimed Paul Reed off of waivers by Philly. I don't know why they waived him. I didn't think that made any sense.
The Caleb Martin signing had to get rid of somebody.
Even still, Embiid can't stay healthy. You need a backup option.
because
Yeah.
Drummond.
Might not even be there the whole season. He could easily get traded in February. So an interesting choice. But
Yeah, Pam
Pistons
Town.
picking up pieces.
I really like that piece, and I'm actually really glad they're probably going to be better than us this year now, which gives
Yes.
a better shot, at least a top 5 pick,
Yeah.
essentially. So there was that. We talked about which Warrior signings did we talk about?
We did not touch on Hield or Anderson.
We didn't touch on any of them. We talked
No.
about the Anthony Melton, I believe.
Yes.
Okay. So first one, the Warriors have signed Kyle Anderson to a 3-year deal, and they also acquired Buddy Hield in a sign and trade.
Okay.
I liked both of these moves.
Honestly,
It's
I
not
don't.
going to do anything for him.
I don't hate it though.
No.
It kind of gives you more wiggle room. Essentially, you're not going to get that same production as Clay, but I think getting a higher volume 3-point shooter, like a more efficient sharpshooter than Clay, who's more consistent on a night in night out basis, is going to be a better fit, maybe. Because Clay wasn't giving you much. 0 of 10 in an elimination game. Let's not
Yeah.
forget that.
I'm fine.
And look, I think Kyle Anderson's a piece that will turn out fine.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't hate the move. Actually, believe it or
No.
not. I think
like
the Warriors just need some depth pieces to build around Steph.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
they got him with both of those guys.
Yeah.
Minnesota lost Kyle Anderson. That's a kind of a loss for them. He was pretty good for them.
Yeah, he was very good for them.
Yeah.
In the playoffs especially.
They'll have to just find someone. They have pieces. They'll be fine.
Yeah. You know those memes where it's like help, we're down 30. And it's like
Kyle Anderson.
Yeah. Steph was like, shoot it. He's like, yeah, just give me a second.
Yeah.
I fucking love
like
it.
That. I like that.
But look, I think it'll be good. I still don't think the Warriors are in any sort of contending sort of
no,
thing.
no.
Now, if they get Larry Markkinen, then we're talking.
Yeah.
That's if they move him.
If you pair Steph with Larry Markkinen, you potentially have me drilling up some conversation. But without him, no.
It's a year for their young guys to step up.
Yeah, I think they're probably you're gonna get a lot more minutes from Trace Jackson Davis. Obviously, Pajemski in for a good second year. Kuminga, obviously, yeah. Moses Moody could be on the move, maybe.
It's a nice piece.
Yeah, he's gonna be good.
Nice piece to
I'm
have.
telling you, I think he's a guy that I have a lot of stock in. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's
He's
gonna
nice
turn out
piece.
good. I wanted the Nets to trade for him at one point.
He's a really good shooter.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he's a good player. So that obviously happened. James Wiseman agreed to a 2-year deal with the Indiana Pacers.
I don't.
Wait, why?
I don't know.
I don't see the.
I don't
fit.
like it.
I think maybe they're just trying to get his stock up to trade him. Maybe try and resurrect his career of some sort.
Yeah, but why would they want to
Yeah,
do that? They
I
already got some
don't-
guys.
That means they're getting to the end of the contract of Isaiah Jackson, and I don't think they can afford to bring him back.
That's who they'd have been investing their money in, not Wise.
probably what it was.
Right?
And
I
then
don't know.
Jarris Walker still.
Well,
there?
Jarris Walker is going to be their center for the future.
Yeah.
I don't think Wiseman's going to be there long term. I just think I think it's just a good guy to take a flyer on. You might as well.
I guess. Rotational guy.
Yeah, you got nothing to lose because depth
Yeah.
is so important in the playoffs. So let Wiseman take up some minutes at the end of the season if you have nothing to play for.
Right.
So I don't hate
Yeah.
the move, but it definitely
a
draws
head
up
scratch.
a little. Yeah, it's a little bit of a head scratcher. I will say that.
Yeah.
I would have liked that for the Knicks as a backup center.
Yeah.
James Wiseman.
Yeah.
he's a-
That would be valuable minutes.
There's
That would
there's
be.
better backup centers out there. I think.
I
but
would have taken. Yeah, man, I would have taken Mo Wagner over him, but he went back to Orlando.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Low key, if I could see them trading for Isaiah Stewart.
The Knicks?
Yeah.
I could see that too. Actually.
Because I know they want Duran, but now that Troy Weaver's gone, Trajan Langdon's not going to give you Jalen Duran.
No, and they have nobody to back him up.
They have beef stew.
Yeah, we
So-
need Walker Kessler.
That making a deal with Danny Ainge with no draft picks is definitely going to be tough.
Yeah, it's not happening.
It's definitely going to
But
be tough.
Walker Kessler's a starter. He ain't a bench guy. That means Mitch going to the
He
bench.
came off the bench last year.
No, I would start Walker.
Well, I would start him also, but for some reason, him and Jordan Clarkson were benched in Utah last year.
Yeah, they were
Really
rotational
weird.
pieces.
But they offered 2 first-round picks for him, and Danny
Yeah.
said no. So I
We have
doubt
to-
it will happen.
We have to figure out something else.
I don't think they move him until they move Markkanen.
Yeah, I would
So,
agree.
We'll see as far as that goes. What else happened around the league? I love how the Grizzlies re-signed no one. They added no one, and no one left.
It's because a lot of their guys were injured.
Literally,
They're
yeah,
banking on
they've
them
stayed the
coming back.
exact same, which is kind of crazy. The Heat, Haywood Highsmith is back. I think we talked about Bam, right? We talked about the
talked
Bam
about Bam.
extension. Yep. Kevin Love's back, obviously, and they got Alec Burks, which I think we did talk about as well, right?
I think a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he is back. The
good
Bucks,
signing.
the Bucks added Taurean Prince, which we talked about. DeLon Wright, same thing. Joe Ingles has agreed to a deal with the Minnesota Timberwolves.
I love that deal.
I think he's kind of the pseudo replacement to Kyle Anderson.
Yeah.
Essentially,
Yeah.
except he's going to play more of just shooting guard, small forward
Shooting.
minutes.
Yeah. You know what?
They need.
I'm not
they
against
need
that.
shooting.
I don't mind it at all, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just more shooting, less defense.
Yeah.
I preferred him on Orlando though, but I think,
But Orlando has so much depth.
bro, imagine upgrading from Joe Ingles to KCP.
Yeah, they're fine.
That's nuts.
No,
They're fine.
Orlando has so much depth.
Yeah.
They're fine.
The New Orleans Pelicans have gotten Daniel Theis. So he is the Larry Nance Jr. replacement. Obviously, they shipped him out in the DeJounte Murray trade.
Starting center.
Out of all, well, he's not going to start, I don't think. But out of all the backup bigs in the league, I think Daniel Theis is quite high up there, to be honest.
Yeah. He's been moved around a lot.
Actually, you know what? I think he is going to start.
He has
Because
to.
I forgot they lost Valanciunas.
Yeah, he's not there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna start.
And they'll bring that French dude off the bench.
Yves Missi.
Yeah. Or not French dude, he's from Cameroon.
Yves Missi.
Yeah.
He went to college, I think, in A&M. Texas A&M, I think.
I think so, yeah.
But he's gonna be really good for them.
Yeah, not at all. I think it's a good. I think the Pelicans are starting to kind of form some like general good vibes around their team.
Yeah, they shouldn't be bad.
So not bad at all.
No.
Let's see. Thunder, nothing really has changed. Same thing with the Magic. We talked about Caleb Martin to the Sixers.
No.
All right, Caleb Martin has signed a 1-year deal, I think, with the Philadelphia 76ers.
Oh wait, that's what it was. He put Caleb Martin at shooting guard.
Oh, right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Caleb Martin is a small forward.
He's a small power.
He was playing power forward in
yeah,
the
but
finals.
that's out of position.
I don't
You know that's out of position. He's 6'6".
No, but when they were playing in Nevada in college, he was the power forward. They had Cody
Still
at
out of
center.
position.
I don't know.
bro,
I-
is
Caleb's a big guy.
He's definitely not a shooting guard. That's for
No,
damn
he's
sure.
A big
He's
guy.
6'5". What do you mean?
He's 6. He's the same height as me.
He's 6'5".
Ain't no way.
That's a shooting
No,
guard height. That's
I'm-
why I put him at shooting
I'm
guard.
telling you this right now. If they measured me in the NBA, I would probably be at least 6'7".
Nah.
Yeah.
They would have to. If they measure Kamezi Metu, Kamezi Metu is 6'7", and they measured bro at 6'10". Like, come on. There's no way.
This is a good deal. This is their defensive piece.
I'm not gonna lie. The Heat fucking fumbled this. They were in intense negotiations with this man. They had a deal lined up. It was a nice 4-year deal. I don't know what the hell happened after that.
Sixers are making moves. I think this was their last piece, and that's it. They wrap up the offseason. They drafted
don't know
Jared.
if
They
I don't-
drafted Jared McCain.
They're
who's
not
been
done.
happening.
I think
They don't. They can't take any else.
February. Keep an eye on February.
What are they gonna do in February?
Deadline moves.
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah, they're gonna flip some guys for sure. I think Drummond is kind of the main piece I could see them moving on from.
Yeah.
And we'll kind of see from there. But look, I think with Philly, they're good enough. Just got to see them get it done in the playoffs,
Yeah.
and then I'll clap my hands.
Yeah. They needed depth. They got it.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll see with that. Nothing happened with Phoenix. Nothing happened with Portland. Minor deals with Sacramento. Jordan McLaughlin's there.
No,
Just a
DeMar.
client. Well, we'll talk about that later.
DeMar.
Yep. We'll talk about the Kings stuff after that. Chris Paul to the Spurs.
We talked about that.
Drew Eubanks to the Jazz. We talked about,
Yep.
and yeah, that's pretty much all of the main deals. But we did miss one from last week. Nets legend Royce O'Neal signed
Mm-hmm.
I think a
4-year,
4-year,
44.
$44
Nice.
million contract with the Phoenix Suns. Very happy for Royce. I'm
I
a
thought-
big Royce
I
guy.
thought Suns didn't have money.
They don't. I think that was the last of their money.
Well, I
Now
think
they
it
don't,
went
but-
to a good place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Royce isn't going to win you a championship, but Royce is just a good piece, you know?
Yeah. He's like a
Good.
vibes guy.
Royce is that kind of guy that he is stupidly clutch for no reason, and then he has his CTE moments where he plays like the worst player in the NBA. But yeah, I think Royce is just a good piece. I think he'll help the young guys a lot. He did that with us in Brooklyn, obviously, when he was in Utah. He gets along well with the vets. I think he could be a good recruiting piece as well for some free agents.
Yeah.
Although I did think he was going to go to Minnesota.
I would
That would have been
Because
nice.
love that.
he would have been reunited with Rudy Gobert and Mike Conley. That would have been sick.
That would've
That would have
been
been the
good.
perfect Kyle Anderson replacement.
I would actually love that, yeah.
Just, I beg of Frank Vogel, or not Frank Vogel, of Mike Budenholzer, do not play him at center.
Yeah. All right.
Keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go. Yeah, Antoine, we ordered food, so Antoine's just going to grab that. But yeah, any what's been your kind of most under the radar signing this week, or just in general this free agency? If you had to pick one,
I haven't really been keeping track of all the small signings, but in terms of the big ones,
yeah,
I honestly think Chris Paul to the Spurs is huge.
yeah.
And I think we talked about that last episode.
Oh, we definitely did. Yeah,
The development that, how much he's going to help Wemby and all that. So I think it's like one of those signings that's like out in the open, like everyone knows about it, but it's also under the radar.
Right,
Because Chris
yeah.
Paul has not been the same Chris Paul we've seen in years past. So, yeah, I think that's going to be huge.
Weirdly enough, I'm actually going for his replacement. I've gone with DeAnthony Melton to the Golden State Warriors.
Okay.
I think having a guy that can come in, he almost is going to play a Malik Monk type of minutes, like minutes wise, he's going to play the same role. I just kicked the mic. I'm sorry, but essentially with DeAnthony Melton, you're going to get just complete 3-and-D, just lockdown point of attack defense off the bench. And I think that's something that Golden State's really lacked because, yes, Pods is good, but he's really small.
Right.
And you can't run Steph and Pods the entire time, especially in the fourth. And there's going to be games where you're going to see Steph and Melton close as the backcourt.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be really important for them going forward. But
Okay.
we'll go over to you, Antoine, since you were out of the room. I asked Gio what has been your most underrated signing of free agency so far. He went with Chris Paul to the Spurs. I went with DeAnthony Melton to the Warriors. So what would be yours if you had to pick any under the radar or just underrated, that's going to make a big impact that wasn't one of the big dog signings?
Oh my God. Did we talk about DeMar?
No, that's also not an under the radar signing.
Yeah, no, it's not.
One of the smaller signings that's really going to make a big impact.
Let me pull up the list.
But
I agree with both of your picks.
while he looks for that, Gio, what do you think's been the worst signing so far in this free agency?
The worst
The
signing.
worst signing. And we're not counting any bum type players that go to a team. Just what decent sized contract and
There is
everything.
one answer
Okay.
and one answer only.
And it's
Okay.
not Isaiah Hartenstein.
Just give it to me.
He's
Tobias Harris.
oh,
Oh, yeah.
That is the worst signing.
I think I agree with
he
that.
took a pay cut.
Still, you gave him 2-year, $52 million. He's making $1 million more than Miles Bridges.
I think
He should be worth less than Miles
He
Bridges.
should be making more money than Miles Bridges. Anyone should be making more money than Miles Bridges.
No,
What are
he
you
should be
talking
making
about?
exponentially less, and so should Miles Bridges. They both should be making nothing.
I'm sorry, you are crazy with that.
They both should be making nothing.
Not a chance in hell, bro.
Oh, okay. I have my pick for.
Let's hear it.
This is definitely under the radar.
Okay.
Jonas Valanciunas is going to the Wizards.
Oh, yes. I think you were able to get less money than you paid Gafford.
That is, Valanciunas is a guy I've always loved. When he came over in Toronto, he'll fill in. He'll mentor Alex Sarr very well. I think they're going to work together pretty well, and he's gonna be there. I think for that rebuilding, and then he'll probably retire. I think. I don't think they're going to move him in a trade.
For who? Valanciunas?
Yeah.
He's still got years left in the league.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think they'll move him after a trade. But I love Valley.
It's another
That'd
one
be
of those
good.
guys you don't want to mess with.
Not at all.
No, you don't want to mess with Valley.
I'm trying to find a bad signing. I think honestly, if I had to pick one, I'm leaning towards Eric Gordon to the Sixers.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
I think he'll help out a little bit. I think he'll have some big time shots. but outside of that, I don't really see much else happening with that guy.
Not at all.
Can I give another also pretty shocking bad signing for me?
Which is,
OG Anunoby.
ooh, I'm not
I
gonna
like
lie.
the player, but I hate the contract.
I kind of agree on that.
I disagree. I think you pay him
You think he's worth a
that
max
important.
contract?
to do. I think he's that important to your team's success.
I wanted him back, but not for the money.
Right.
Because now Jalen Brunson's got to take a pay cut to stay.
Does he?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's going to probably. I think the Knicks are going to offer him an extension before the season starts, and he's going to take it
And then the
lose
year
out over at $100 million.
Well, only for that season because he's going to sign a max after that.
Yeah. But
So essentially,
I
he's
love
leaving money on the table for that one season.
I love OG, but
Okay.
I think Leon Rose's son could have helped out his father by not giving him $40 million plus a year.
I wouldn't say it's not even so much of the obviously the contract plays a big part of it, but it's the durability issues for me with OG Anunoby. That's where
That's a fair point.
I love OG.
that's
fair
the
point.
problem I see with that type of contract. I just don't really see it working out long term.
They're banking on him staying healthy, and
Like I think the Knicks can compete for 2 years, and then they really need to be strategic. Because obviously, if Brunson does what he does right now, they're really only in good shape to pay Brunson and McHale after these 2 years. You're probably like one good playoff run, and they're going to lose Josh Hart, and they're going to lose Dante DiVincenzo. Like you won't be able to retain those guys after the fact, and that's why it's tough. And that's why teams are going to play hardball with trades now. You're probably going to have to get rid of one of them at some point to get someone better outside of Randall.
We'll have to talk about this once the season goes on and see who's back.
Oh, yeah.
and who's
Exactly.
good.
Yeah. Essentially, that's kind of what it boils down to. That's
Yeah,
essentially
that's-
what it is.
Right now, we're just talking about who's the paper names.
Excuse me. But yes, outside of that, I think most deals have been really good. I don't hate them. This new CBA is interesting. But any final thoughts?
No,
on
we're gonna move.
agency?
We're gonna do DeMar in the next segment.
Yeah, all the big sign and trades, the max contracts, and the
Okay.
rookie extensions and everything.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
So let's move on. All right, into the next segment. So obviously, as time goes on, there'll be more signings and everything, and we'll be sure to let y'all know what happens. Obviously, while we were eating just now, Saddiq Bey signed a 3-year, $20 million contract with the Washington Wizards. So pretty cool.
Wish he was a Nick.
I mean,
Another Nova guy.
he's coming off a torn ACL, so like I don't know.
I
if he's
love
necessarily
Saddiq
the guy.
Bey.
He's good, but is he going to
Love
be
him.
back to his best?
Wizards took a flyer on him. I think it's worth it.
Steal of a contract if it works out.
Yeah.
But a lot of big time money was handed out over the past few weeks, outside of them finalizing the media rights. The media rights, though, I think it was $76 billion.
Or $7.6 billion.
No, $76 billion. I'm pretty sure.
That's correct.
But essentially,
Pocket change.
before we talk about the big contracts, the NBA released their 25-26 season schedule. Every day we'll have a nationally televised game.
love it.
Peacock on Monday. On Monday it'll be on Peacock. On Tuesday it'll be NBC. On Wednesday ESPN. On Thursday Amazon. Friday will be both ESPN and Amazon. Saturday will be ESPN and Amazon, and Sunday will be on NBC and ESPN.
That's so interesting.
So weird. It's just
Yeah.
bring back TNT, please. Like no one wants this. Like
Oh,
it's gonna be so bad without them. But
It'll be good.
hopefully, that's the plan. But essentially, that's that. Let's get into these big contracts. These are mostly in chronological order. I'm pretty sure. Maybe one or two is out of place. But I think we start off with the big one. Donovan Mitchell signed I believe a 3-year, $163 million contract, I want to say, with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, it was reported for a while that he was going to opt in and request a trade, presumably to one of the New York teams. Obviously, the Knicks made their decision. The Nets made their decision. There's really no spot for Donovan Mitchell, and I don't think it was worth him going to the Lakers or anything. So he just decided to stay put and have a long-term future in Cleveland. Any thoughts on this move? Do you think it was the right move for him?
yeah. I think
Yeah.
he'll work with Kenny. I think that's the plan. They seem to really like each other from just the videos I saw from them meeting. I think they're very fond of each other, and I think he's going to do a lot of good things with Kenny, and I think vice versa.
Yeah.
It's a 3-year, $150.3 million contract, a max extension. So pretty interesting in that regard. I mean, do you think the Cavs can win with Donovan Mitchell?
I think they can, but they obviously need to get championship pieces around him. Can't
Yeah.
just be him.
Does that mean you flip someone like Garland, or
Yeah.
do you flip
does.
someone else?
Yeah.
No. Mobley, you got to keep.
Yep.
I think
still got Allen over there?
Allen is the one you. But apparently
Allen
he
and
wants
Garland,
to keep
I
Allen.
think
If you're Kenny
they can go.
Atkinson, why would you want to move Jared Allen? You helped
Yeah.
him develop into the player he is today. So
True.
you
Yeah.
didn't get to finish the job with him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for me, I think it's going to take a lot for Cleveland to contend. I don't know if this. I mean, this was the right move. They had no other choice, but they really got to be aggressive with some trades now.
Yeah.
And you flip whoever you need to flip. Whether that's, I think Darius Garland has to be the guy. There's going to be tons of teams willing to take a flyer on Darius Garland.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think you do it.
Lakers.
Low key, they might, but I don't know. There's really nothing. Who would Cleveland bring back though? Essentially,
D-Lo.
that's not going to get you a championship.
Not even close.
You need to go after a big gun. Like there's going to be someone that's available. We don't
Like
know.
LeBron James.
Yeah, imagine like
They
Back
could
to
they could
Cleveland.
do a Trey Young swap.
Trey Young. I was thinking, but I don't know if Donovan Mitchell is going to be your one or your two. They have to make that decision before they trade someone.
Yeah.
So that's always something. I think if the Celtics had not won and they had separated the duo, that could have been a good move. Maybe.
Right.
Oh.
It's good.
Yeah.
That could have been interesting. But do we see what we say in like ceiling wise for the Cavs this season, regular season and playoffs?
Top 5 seed. I think second round exit.
Top 7.
Yeah, I'm thinking they just squeak in at like 6, maybe. I think they're a little bit weaker than last year. I need to see another move. Maybe what about like Marcus Smart?
It would help.
Oh,
Wouldn't do
that
much
would
stuff.
help. I don't think it
Yeah,
does
I don't know. I
much.
just
It's
think-
just a bench piece.
No, he would start. He'd be the
No.
starting point guard. If you're trading Garland,
Oh, if you're trading, yes.
Yeah.
But if you're keeping Garland, no.
could you run a Smart Donovan backcourt? That would be interesting. But
I would like it.
I think ceiling's probably still a second round exit. I can't see this
Yeah.
team going far at all.
Yeah. Smart would bring like a different mindset to the team, more
Unless-
defensive.
A different vibe.
Unless everyone is just firing on all cylinders and they get to that conference finals.
Yeah, you never
So
know.
be it.
The East is bad, so like you easily could get there, especially if Boston gets bounced early.
The East has gotten better, but it's still
It's
bad.
gotten better, yeah, but there's still I think like triple the amount of All Stars in the West, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, we all know if Russ goes to the Cavs, Gio's gonna pick them to win the
They're
championship.
not going
For sure.
Cavs.
Yeah, but he's not going over there. No way.
No, not at all. But we transition into the next one. This caught me by surprise. I'm not going to lie, but I fucking love it. The Orlando Magic signed Franz Wagner to a 5-year, $224 million designated rookie extension. That is insane. And that deal could become worth as much as $270 million. Bro. How? Bro, Franz Wagner. Actual Franz Wagner. Making in the 50s every year.
I don't know about that.
No.
That's severely overpaid.
That should have been Paolo's money.
Bro, Paolo's going to get more than that.
I don't think.
but now they're
Franz-
going to be paying both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, they can't pay Paolo until 2027
Yeah.
anyways. So,
But I mean, I love France. He got his money, and he's a piece there for the future, long time.
I mean, if he could stay healthy, I think this contract could age very well.
Yeah, he needs to up his points per game. His everything.
What do you average? Like 20?
Yeah, I think
A little less
I
than
think
21.
outside of his Game 7 performance, I thought he was phenomenal the entire season. Game 7,
Yeah.
he really fell apart.
Yeah.
But still, I think, I don't know, I like the deal for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, I
For
think
him, yeah.
his
Yes, for him.
agent deserves
Oh,
any
yeah.
bit of praise for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
And that's just a really good contract for your rookie to get, like your rookie deal. That's the best amount of money you're going to get. And I don't know if he's going to make more than that in his career.
Yeah, his agent, I want to get in contact with him because I'm trying to get some money too.
Can we
NBA.
can he represent us
Yeah.
and
That'd
get
be
us
good.
places, get us contracts and stuff like
Yeah.
that?
We need that connection.
That'd be sick though, like on a reel. But what do we see for the Magic?
Oh, same thing. Top 4.
You
Top
think
5.
you have them in the same boat as Cleveland?
Yeah,
put 'em- I'll put 'em
4,
top 5.
Top 5.
That's fair. I think top 3 is a ceiling for them.
Yes. Yes.
I think they could easily make like an OKC type run. And I think their ceiling, I think, is conference finals.
Yes.
I think
Okay.
they can get that. I'm high on the Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's because they have the defensive depth with KCP, with Suggs, with Isaac, with
Yeah.
Wendell Carter. I think they're actually a force to be reckoned with in the East.
Yeah. I
And
see them.
Yeah, you saying?
No, I was going to say I see them doing much better in the playoffs next year with added playoff experience in defense because defense wins in the playoffs.
And we know Paolo's a riser.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, so
that's huge.
Yeah, that's going to be huge for them. I see them doing decently well in the regular season, but in the playoffs, surprising people. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost similar to like OKC essentially this year, or like a different story.
No, a different vibe because OKC was number one in their
right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm seeing the Magic go like top 5, maybe like 4 seed, but I think they're going to surprise people and go far.
A better version of the 2021 Hawks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the 2023 Pacers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Essentially, either of them.
If everyone's healthy.
Easy arguments for that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Got a big one next. This has drawn up a lot of controversy on the timeline, and I'm honestly not sure why. But the Detroit Pistons gave Cade Cunningham a 5-year, $224 million designated rookie extension. Obviously been put in the most difficult situation as far as number 1 picks have gone over the past few years. Obviously, Wemby's set up in a good spot with San Antonio. I think Paolo with Orlando's thriving. We saw what Anthony Edwards is doing. Cade is in purgatory,
yep,
to say the least, and has kind of fallen a bit under the radar in my opinion. Now, I personally think this contract is absolutely deserved.
It is. You can't blame him for the team building.
Right. I mean, to me, this team's put him through just hell.
Yeah.
Just absolute hell.
Yep.
He's barely played with any NBA players for his entire time in Michigan.
Yep.
So, what do you want the kid to do at the end of the day? I think if he was in any other situation, they'd be in the playoffs by now.
He's their only number 1 overall pick out of how many lotteries they've lost.
Yeah.
So you need to lock up that number 1 pick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like, they've had 2, 3, 4, 5. No, they haven't had 2. They've had 4 and 5 multiple times.
This is their 3rd year in a row picking 5th, I think.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's interesting to say the least as far as that goes. What do you think?
I don't think Cade's as good as we think.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's because, if he was that good, you're going to see the franchise going in the right direction, and you haven't seen that happen. And you can say, oh, well, the team he's played with is horrendous, all this, and that, right?
Right.
But, players that you expect a lot from, like, for example, LeBron James, when he came in, he was on a terrible team. But that team was going in the right direction, and you noticed that in his rookie season.
Right.
You didn't notice that with Cade. And obviously LeBron's a generational talent.
Right.
But like Kevin Durant, another one. Those guys, when you expect them to come in and change the culture, change the entire direction of the franchise, and if he's not doing that, maybe he's putting up stats, but being the star player is more than just putting up stats. It's getting the guys around you to compete with you. I don't see that from Cade.
If I could play devil's advocate for a moment, obviously we haven't had that sample size because he has dealt with a lot of injuries so far throughout his career.
Right.
But I think you mentioned teams going in the right direction. I think that's important.
Yeah.
Right? Look back at the number 1 picks. The Spurs are probably the best run organization ever in the NBA. Like this rendition with R.C. Buford and them. You look back at the Magic, they're really pushing in the right direction. They have a great coach and they're pushing forward. Obviously, with San Antonio, Anthony Edwards, you already have a star in Cat. And then you trade for Rudy Gobert and you have an amazing general manager.
Yeah.
You look at the Pistons up until now. I mean, Troy Weaver was piss poor. Mm-hmm. The Pistons organization as a whole, since they won their title, has just been on a downward spiral. Mm-hmm. You get Blake in a trade and you do nothing to maximize his time there. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, it's just, what do you want Cade to do? He's doing all he can, essentially, from that standpoint. When you don't have a good coach, you don't have a good front office. I think now is really the time. Trajan Langdon is a proven good basketball mind in that regard as far as team building and team development.
If this year they show no incremental improvement from last year and everybody's healthy, then I think you place some blame on the players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you
but
always
I don't
place
think
blame.
and then I would think JB Bickerstaff, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Langdon. But if we're seeing the injury bug with Cade again, it's just going to be a revolving door of just that same old thing.
Yeah, if we see injury again, then it's like, what do you do?
He was pretty much healthy this entire season. So he's moving in the right direction.
That's good.
Yeah.
So,
but I don't see, when I look at Cade, I see he's better than Ben Simmons, but I see a Ben Simmons type of mentality. I don't see an alpha. I don't see a dog.
I think you're going to see that.
You're going to see it.
Okay.
I think Cade's
I hope I do.
Cade's becoming very underrated.
Okay.
Very
I love
underrated.
Cade.
He's obviously making a lot more money now to be underrated, but I think people be sleeping on Cade, man. I don't know.
No, I agree.
I'm a Cade believer essentially.
Yeah.
That's just me personally. I've always liked Cade's game, and I just think it's really unfortunate that he wound up going to the Pistons.
Yep. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
So, and look, we'll see. I mean, he balled out during that losing streak. There was nothing really much more he could have done.
Nope.
So, and a lot of those games they lost were just through like straight heartbreakers. So,
Yeah.
essentially there's not much else you can do. But ceiling for the Pistons with obviously now with a lot more, they've brought in a lot more vets, a lot more better actual NBA players since last year's team. Where do you see them finishing now that free agency's ran its course for the most part?
Just outside the play-in.
Yeah, I think we said this before in a previous episode.
That was before all the signings, so that was what the roster is currently constructed.
Okay, so currently, I would say the same exact thing.
Just
I don't think
outside
they
the
went
play-in.
up. I don't think they went down. Same place.
So
Like 10.
11?
Yeah.
I think they'll make the play-in this year, but I don't think they'll win.
No.
I think they'll probably lose
That's
in the
fine.
9-10 game. I think they're going to win games, and I think
They
there's
have to.
there's been upgrades on the court, there's been upgrades in the coaching staff, and there's been upgrades in the front office, and I think that's going to help them a little bit, kind of give them that edge to keep going.
Yeah.
So, and we wish Cade the best. Obviously, we always want players to succeed, because if we were in their position, I think if you treat those players if we were in that position essentially. So, but yeah, moving into the last one, the big one. This happened a few days ago, I believe. I don't know what day of the week.
Over
it
the
was.
weekend.
It was on Saturday. This actually happened, I think, when we were at the rehearsal dinner for the wedding.
Yes, correct.
So this was right at the end, actually, right as we were about to leave. DeMar DeRozan is in Sacktown. What? Like, bro, I never in a million years would have expected that man to be in that team.
Yeah.
Not at all. Because, I mean, we grew up, the Kings were like bottom of the barrel. They were like the worst team, the laughing stock of the league. They were just never good. They always made dumb moves. I like this, though.
I was saying they need another scorer. They got
do.
the other scorer. And they didn't give up anything besides Harrison Barnes, who the Spurs also got in return, which is a great pickup for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a big loss for Sac
Right.
at all.
So it was a 3-team deal. Harrison Barnes was sent to San Antonio, and Chris Duarte was rerouted to Chicago,
Yep.
essentially. But I think over the past, 2 years, the two highest field goal percentages in the clutch in the NBA over the past 2 seasons, DeMar DeRozan and De'Aaron Fox. And now they're on one team,
Wow.
which is crazy.
Might be a crazy clutch team.
I
Or
mean,
it might turn into a negative. Who knows?
we never know.
Yeah, we see how they play together.
Project-
Who wants the last shot?
Yeah.
They're also not done making moves. The Kings are still really trying to make a push for like Lowry Markkinen.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
They're still trying to get guys. And right now, I mean, as currently constructed, you're looking at a lineup of De'Aaron Fox, Kevin Huerter, DeMar DeRozan, Keegan Murray, Domantas Sabonis with Malik Monk as your sixth man.
No, I think Malik Monk starts.
Why would you
Very
start
solid. No,
Have to.
Monk off the bench.
Monk off the bench?
Monk off the bench.
Monk off the bench,
And I
he
think
closes.
he wants to come off the bench.
He chooses to come off the bench because you need that. Kevin Huerter provides that spacing for
Yeah.
De'Aaron Fox.
And he also provides a good defense. Solid
I think
defense.
Solid enough
The-
for his
Yeah.
player type.
There needs to be a big jump from Keegan Murray's offensive
Oh,
production
he's
this
been
year.
playing good.
He hit 12 threes in a game last season.
He needs to be more consistent.
Yeah, I mean, this will be his third year.
Yeah.
I think
So-
he's took a big step.
Yeah.
Look, for
no,
guys,
I
man.
think
The fact that he didn't take a step backwards in his second year is impressive enough as it is.
I think
Yeah.
he took a step forwards.
We're not even at the year 3 leap yet. I think he's definitely in for a good year. Year 4 is really where he's going to cement himself, I think. But it depends on who the Kings try to trade for. Because it's very clear Kevin Huerter's gone if they make a trade.
Yep.
But does Keegan Murray go with him? That's the question.
Yeah.
And at that point, then you start Malik Monk.
Right.
And you
Yep.
bring in like Lowry Markkinen at your 4
Yep.
or whatever.
Exactly.
So that's always more tough in that regard. But the final contract number for DeMar DeRozan came in, I believe, last night. 3 years, $74 million. I think it's just below 74.
Okay.
With the third year partially guaranteed at $10 million. So
Okay.
2 years guaranteed to kind of, earn back another max contract essentially.
Yeah.
And I think this is probably the best case scenario for him Because I don't think he's a great player. I just don't think he's deserving of a max contract right now.
Not anymore.
No.
Yeah,
Not right now.
he needs to kind of build himself back up.
Chicago was a bad pit stop for him.
I wouldn't say that.
I would say it wasn't a bad pit stop. I just think that
It was
team,
a bad situation.
Yeah,
The team was poorly constructed.
Yeah.
With
It was-
too many good players.
the team was greatly constructed. It's just no one stayed healthy.
No, I don't think all of those guys work together at all.
I mean, if you,
They
I mean,
didn't play together much.
yeah, well, that too.
in actuality, a healthy pairing of Lonzo Caruso, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Vucevic, that team should be good.
Yes.
It's
Playoff
just
team.
right. Just no one can stay healthy, and that's been the issue. It's almost been like the super team Nets, where you only play a handful of games together.
Right.
I just think the Bulls have done a really bad job in getting assets back.
Yep.
Like, how do you not get a first round pick back for Caruso
Right.
with the Thunder? But I want to ask you, Gio, how do you see DeMar fitting in with the Kings? Because it's really interesting because DeMar's been very up and down over the past few years, and so have the Kings. So I want to know what you think about this situation for both him and the team.
DeMar is one of those guys, I feel like he himself can fit into any team, but the question is the team going to benefit from him fitting into the team? Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
he's going to find a way to fit in for sure. He's going to get his buckets. He's just he's a bucket getter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But, like, is the team going to benefit is the question.
Can I get like
from
an
him.
example of what
Yeah.
you're trying to say?
Go for it.
No, I'm asking, can I get like an example?
Oh, I thought you said, can I give an
No,
example?
I'm asking, can
Oh.
you give me an example?
Like DeMar, he's going to drop 28 points, but is it going to result in a win?
Right. Yeah.
You know, it's like that situation.
Almost about like the system, like I am the system, or
Not necessarily, but like, not because he's not that type of guy. But
will he
he's-
impact winning?
Yeah, that's my question.
Right.
And he'll be clutch, but like, is it going to result in winning?
Right.
That's the question. So we'll see.
What about you, Antoine? What do you think?
I think on the same lines as that, he needs to reestablish his scoring a little bit.
I think that's fair.
I don't think you're going to get a lot of defense, in my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really expect him to play much defensive role.
You're just getting, another scorer to lift De'Aaron a little bit off, and it helps bonus out. I said they needed a scorer, and they got it because Harrison Barnes ain't really a scorer. He's a great role player.
for his player type. I think Harrison Barnes did a pretty damn good job.
He does.
I agree.
But he's not a pure scorer.
Right, he's not an all-star.
But the Spurs got him, and he'll fit in there really well.
He'll be
I
a
think.
good fit with Wemby, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As like a
That's a
good,
big
he will
bet.
be. He will be.
good, just a
That's
good,
a big veteran.
a good shooter on like it's an upgrade on Doug McDermott essentially
Yeah.
for San
Yeah.
Antonio.
But I like this move. This is an A move. I think Sacktown was ideal. Lakers, I don't think was ideal at all.
Not a chance in hell.
So I'm glad he went to the right California team. So
I think the Warriors
I'll
should have been a
give it
good
to him.
fit too.
I don't know.
It would have been better than the Lakers.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Yes, I would agree.
I think this is the best fit.
But I
for him.
think
Absolutely.
Sacramento was literally one of the talk of the towns 2 years ago. They were on the cusp of just being top 3 seed.
They were a third seed.
Okay, I don't remember seeding, but
yeah.
I was nailed it right there.
Yeah, they lost to the Warriors in the first round.
And they have a fan base that loves that team.
Yeah.
So, just make them all happy and bring in guys that are going to play for them. They have Light the Beam. That's their thing.
Yes, sir.
See the beam light up all the time.
I'm excited for his first beam light.
Yeah.
That's gonna be
But,
generational.
Yeah, I love their team. I'm glad that they're out of what Detroit was in because they were what Detroit is now for a long time. And now they're I wish Detroit would be like Sacktown eventually. Turn it around,
Hopefully.
have a nice plan like this.
Took them a while, Sacktown.
Yeah.
20 years without a playoff appearance.
Really bad drafting sometimes.
But I do think, I personally think they have the best home crowd in the NBA. I know a lot of people say Boston, but I
No.
think when that Sacktown crowd pops,
Oh, yeah.
it's generational.
Yeah, they're up there.
And what do we see? Obviously, just for context, the Kings finished third in 2023, and they finished, I think, 9th last year and missed the play-in, or didn't get out of the play-in. What do you see ceiling-wise for this team this year?
I'm going to meet that in the middle at 6.
So you don't think he'll be much more of an improvement?
They're going to be top of the play-in, almost 5 seed.
Okay. What about you,
So
Gio?
there is improvement.
I agree.
They're not top
5-6.
3.
Yeah, I think 5 seed is probably. I think they could probably get 4.
Yes.
But I think it really depends on if any high West teams take a step backwards, which I don't know if that will happen. And playoff wise,
Second round conference finals.
second round.
If they make
I say first round
if they make
exit.
deadline
Really?
moves,
First round exit.
Oh, they're clearly going to make deadline.
if they make deadline moves to bring in somebody,
Okay. We'll see.
that is Laurie if he stays
No
Right.
way.
for half a season,
That would be a hell of a move.
There's no way that's gonna happen.
just to boost up his stock to get more draft picks in the season.
Yeah, but I don't think Danny Ainge wouldn't trade him in the middle of the season. I think next summer's when he goes
Yeah.
because they're going to pay him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I do think it's time to move on to the next segment.
Yeah.
I agree.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
All right, into the next story. This is an interesting one. That's, I think, could stir up some good dialogue between us. Not really something I expected to see, but obviously, business is business, and owners and stuff will do things to benefit their own pockets long term. And after winning the NBA Finals, Celtics owner, I'm assuming Weiss or Wick Grusbeck, the Grusbecks own the Celtics, for those that don't know, said that at the end, sometime soon, around the end of the decade, they're going to sell the team, which is interesting in the sense that, the Celtics are the most storied franchise in NBA history. They have the most championships all time. They're one of the original teams. They're something that should be inherited forever. But I understand why they're doing it. And it's all tied down to this new CBA. And for those that don't know, basically, this new CBA restricts a lot of teams from doing certain things, i.e., the Dynasty Warriors. You can't be paying everyone $400 million. That's just not feasible. It doesn't create an entertaining league. That's why we had the same NBA Finals for 6 years in a row, or however long it was, right? Mm-hmm. So the Celtics are the only team that have gone all in on salaries. They gave Brown a supermax last year. They just gave Tatum a supermax. They just gave Derek White a max. They gave Drew Holiday pretty much a max. They're going to give Porzingis another max probably. They're going all in. And they are very well into the second apron. And basically the first and second apron gives teams different restrictions. Like the first apron, you have to trade like for like, and you get different penalties. And the second apron, mainly, your draft picks get frozen. And that's really the important thing. And it almost seems like the Grusbecks are trying to do a LeBron. Essentially, you go in to a team, you inflict all your bullshit, and by the time everything's done and by the time everything's ran its course, you just leave. And it seems to me that the Celtics are just going all in this decade to try and win as many championships as possible, and the Grusbecks are going to leave right before the penalties all kick in. And it'll be the new owner's problem.
Interesting.
So that's essentially the context of the situation. I would love to know y'all's thoughts on this thing, because it wasn't really anything. This was just sort of dropped randomly. No one really expected it, but it's something. It's good fruit for thought. So I want to know what you guys think about it. Take as much time as you want.
If that's the main reason for all of it, it's not a good look on them. I feel like, there are other ways to work with it. I mean, obviously, if they want to get their money back, get your money back.
Right.
But if you've put so much into building a team and a culture and a dynasty and a franchise, you're just going to up and leave it into shambles, especially a team like the Boston Celtics. It's not good for the league, and it's not good for the new owners coming in. They're going to have to be just in a lot of, I don't even know what the word is. I guess just, I don't want to say purgatory, but turmoil.
Essentially, yeah, just in the wilderness. Now, I will clarify, they're not selling the entirety of the team. I think he's still going to keep his majority stake, or maybe like do what Mark Cuban did, which I guess will give them more just, insurance capital, just kind of as like a safety net almost. But I don't know. I don't know if this is a good idea.
No, It's not. It's never a good idea because it's going to cause a lot of issues. You know, obviously, I feel like the owners also have a say in the new owners that come in. So if they know what's going to be going on with them selling the team, they may block that sale from happening.
Right. That's the thing. We don't know.
You know, that's something that when the time comes and we know how serious the punishments are for them and the players that are still there currently,
Yeah.
then we can have some type of knowledge of what the next few years after those punishments come, what's going to happen.
Right. Because by that time, presumably Brown and Tatum will be up for another extension. And they'll be, what? Into
Their
Brown
30s.
Brown will be in his 30s. Tatum will be 19. So, like, sorry, I had to. But, yeah, they'll be in their early 30s. And I just don't know. I mean, it's tough because they seem to be the only ones willing to go into the second apron. And it's just, no one knows how bad the punishments will hit them in reality. They know what the punishments are. But, I mean, do you think, Gia, like, what are your thoughts on just in general of the Celtics mindset, I guess, from this standpoint of just going as all in as possible for the now and not worrying about the future?
I don't know, because part of me likes that. Part of me likes, going all in while you can. You already got these guys on your team.
Right.
That are super talented. But at the same time, like, you're killing your future, right? Would you say that?
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
But the thing is, you don't know what the league is looking like in the future if you're going to compete with the teams that come up. Right now, you've already won. So you know this is your window to win as many as you can.
Right.
Who knows what Brown and Tatum look like when they're 30 and Wemby's in his prime and what team that Spurs team's going to look like.
It's true.
You might as well get it done now.
Yeah, maybe.
And then you look at building a team that's built for whatever the NBA is like 5 to 7 years from now.
That's a good thought, actually, because you have the team right now to win it all. So why not go all in right now? Like, who knows what those guys are going to look like 10 years from now, right?
Especially, too.
Go all for it.
Especially, too, with, like, a weak East. Like,
exactly.
I think they have the best chance at repeating out of any other team in the NBA.
Three-peating, all that.
Yeah, I think they could probably be this decade's dynasty.
They could.
Yeah.
And I think they're the only ones with guts to do that. We've seen a lot of, like, even Denver. Denver easily could have gone into the second apron and paid Bruce Brown and KCP, but they didn't want to. You know, the Celtics are the only team that just doesn't seem to give a shit about the future.
I think it's a business mentality. High risk, high reward, right?
Exactly.
So they're taking the risk, and they're betting on that this risk is going to pay off in the future.
Exactly.
So it's like, it's a return on investment.
You can't.
At the end of the day.
You can't worry about a what if team in the future with kids that are currently still in middle school.
Right.
Who may not even know what their basketball career is going to look like once that time comes.
Right.
So I think it's the right move. I think they're grabbing it by the balls and doing what they need to do.
Wait, why did you just say grab me by the balls, bro? Why did you say
You've
that?
never heard that terminology?
I have, but it was just not what I expected you to say.
No,
Why couldn't you grab it by, like, anything else but the balls?
No, grab
Like, grab it by the nose. Like,
Yeah.
No, but they're and it's taking balls for them to do it.
Literally, yeah.
oh, okay, that's what you mean.
Both of them.
Fair,
They're taking it by the balls, and then it's taking balls from both of them.
Gotcha.
So
I think they're setting a standard.
Yeah, okay.
I wonder if there's going to be, like, a rule later on called, like, the Gruspek rule or something like that. But Gruspek did say in the article, it says the expectation is to sell the team in two parts, 51% going fairly soon, 49% then closing in a second closing. That's the expectation in 2028. So it's coming up, and that'll be around the time when all these contracts run out. And then he said, I'm planning on expected to stay on until 2028, and we're going to hire bankers and advisors, and this is going to be quite a bidding process.
Yep.
So definitely the Gruspeks will be up for a massive payday sometime around the end of the decade.
Hopefully, by then the salary cap increases where they probably won't get punishments with the new media deal coming in.
Even with the new
something.
even with the new media deal coming in, the Celtics, they have 2 supermaxes. I don't think they can afford any of that. I think they're still going to be in the second apron regardless. It's going to be a very long time before they get under the apron.
Yeah.
So definitely some interesting things. But with this team currently constructed, how many rings before 2030 do you see the Celtics winning? How many more?
2 more.
Before 2030.
Before 2030.
So this is 6 more seasons. Or 5 more seasons.
5 more seasons, yeah.
I think they win half of those.
Wow.
Wow. So you think they're going to be the next Warriors?
I think they win 2 to 3.
Wow.
I'm not going at 4.
I think they definitely win 2 more.
Yeah, I see that.
It's just going to be tough to see what happens later on because you don't know how well teams are going to come up, especially
exactly.
in the East. Some teams can fall off. Some teams can just have an unexpected rise. Exactly, yeah. So definitely something to keep in mind. But I thought it was just interesting to bring up on the podcast. I don't know.
Yeah. It's weird that that's being brought up 4 years before it's actually happening.
Especially right after they won their title.
After they won the title. Somebody leaked something.
He was the one that leaked it.
Well, there
he said it in an interview.
Okay. He's the one.
But yeah.
So
any final thoughts on this?
You guys will like my question.
We will.
We're getting into buzz thoughts.
Yeah.
It's time to get into shower thoughts.
Let's do it.
All right, into the final segment. It's time for shower thoughts, the segment where we just talk. And, it causes a lot of critical thinking, a lot of stumped questions, a lot of controversial topics. So, Indeed.com.
Buzz thoughts, by the way. No.
Buzz thoughts today because obviously Gio,
buzzed it.
Yeah, completely
courtesy of my haircut skills.
Yes, you didn't cut anything, you just buzzed.
Yeah. Courtesy of my buzz skills.
But essentially, it is Gio's first. This is the first edition of Shower Thoughts with Gio going bald ski. So, and how fitting it's his turn to ask the question. Mm-hmm. So, Gio, what do we got?
All right. I want Anthony to answer this one first.
Yeah, it's fine. You rest my voice.
All right, Anthony. Has the NBA regular season become less exciting to watch than in years past?
Ooh.
If so, when did you notice, and why has it become less exciting?
I think it stopped being fun for me when they stopped using the old Finals logo.
What? Something as simple as that?
That is the most random answer.
No, I'm joking.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest with you. Growing up as a little kid in middle school and high school, I'd watched a good amount of basketball.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's because football was really not at a point at where it was right now. Also, soccer, same thing. But I watched a lot of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Knicks, too. Still do. I think, if I'm being honest, the regular season does not excite me as much as it does.
Okay.
Knicks basketball does, because I'm a Knicks fan.
Right.
But I am not watching national TV games.
Right.
Anymore.
But you used to.
Correct.
And when did you notice that you stopped doing that? Like, what year was it?
I think once I saw the greats that we grew up with retire, which is Dirk, Wade, Bosh, LeBron, still around, Carmelo, KG, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, Rondo,
Kobe.
Dwight Howard, Kobe. I can go on and on.
Right. Yeah, all the early 2000s players.
Those guys I grew up with. Basketball was fun. Everything was great.
Right.
Good stories. Now we're in a new generation. Not saying it's bad, but it's not what I grew up with.
Okay.
I think that's the nostalgia part of just me saying why it's not fun for me. Right. But it is still fun watching. But I also want to acknowledge that refereeing has ruined it.
Oh, wow. That's a big statement.
I think back in the day, there was nothing that could because social media was not as prominent as it was now. Twitter was around. There was no Instagram. There was no TikTok, no Snapchat. Facebook was just getting started. Twitter was kind of at a point where it was on smartphones, but not as accessible as it is now. But I don't think back in the day you had as much conversation on media television about refereeing as you do now.
Yeah.
I think that has kind of tampered with how or tarnished how the game is played. Also, sports betting, I think, is a big part. We see the betting scandals, but we haven't seen players that prominent get in trouble with it. Also,
do you think it has anything to do with the play style of the guys that you used to watch growing up compared to the play style that you see today? Does that have anything to do with the excitement of the game for you?
I think it does. I think a lot of the guys, I don't want to speak for the NBA players, but I feel like guys that are paid a lot of money do not show as much passion playing on a bad team.
Okay.
Now, that could just be me being completely wrong or just completely right. I don't know. But, you know, when I saw Julius Randle on the Knicks when he got his Supermax the year after, he did not play like he did the year before. Because he got his money.
You think that's what it is?
I think once
Players
they get their money, they
satisfied.
Yeah. Do nothing else to do.
Okay.
You know, if you know you're on a team where you're not going to win a championship,
Right.
go out there, put your stats up, and that's it. Call it a day.
Well, Tyler, I want to hear what you think. If you want me to repeat the question, let me know.
If you want to just...
Yeah. So the question is, has the NBA regular season become less exciting to watch than in years past? If so, when did you notice that? And why has it become less exciting?
Right. I think it's become way less exciting over the years. I mean, I think just in general, too, the fact that they had to... It's one thing to introduce a new concept because you want to, like the in-season tournament, but the main reason why it was added was to bring more value back to the regular season. I started noticing this a few years ago. I think there's two main reasons to me as to why. I think the first one is fucking load management.
Interesting.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like NBA tickets in general have become so much more expensive nowadays, and you know.
I'm gonna piggyback. You want to?
Yeah, let me continue first.
Go ahead. I'll piggyback off of what he said with load management.
It's like it's very rare to see a star player play on the road at this point anymore. Like, if you want to go see LeBron play and you live in Atlanta, and he comes in and he's just not playing because he doesn't feel like it, like that's just. What's the point? It's just like there are so many regular season games where the teams aren't at full strength when they easily could be. And I just think you look at what Jimmy Butler does. He just takes the regular season off. He just chills and just shows up in the playoffs. And at the end of the day, the teams that pay attention in the regular season are the ones that do well in the playoffs. You can't be slacking off in the regular season.
According to advanced statistics, it's actually the teams that have rested their players the most during the regular season end up having the most playoff success.
Right.
So if you look at like the Spurs from Tim Duncan's time, but later on in his career, he would rest a whole lot. Popovich would have those guys because they were getting older. They would be resting so much during the regular season, but they would still win like 60 games during the regular season.
Well, yeah.
And then going into the playoffs, they were fully ready to go because they had all that rest during the regular season, and it produced championships.
Look at the past two champions.
Yeah.
Locked up the one seed so early because they took the regular season seriously, and they were able to rest their guys and be prepared to go on a run because, a lot of times teams will get hot at the wrong time, and you cool off by the time you get to the playoffs.
Right.
So that happens a lot. And I think just load management in general is just like stars. It's clear stars don't care about the regular season. Otherwise, they'd be playing every night. That's why I respect like Kevon Looney and Mikal Bridges and those guys. They suit up every night.
Yeah.
They don't want to miss games. I think availability is so important, and it just keeps you in that rhythm. Yeah. And
don't forget Russell Westbrook.
Right.
Respect that man.
We can't forget Russell Westbrook.
He plays every night like he doesn't have a supermax contract already. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Availability is the best ability.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But to me, that's not as big of to me, that's not the biggest reason why, though. And ironically enough, the biggest reason why is social media.
Oh, interesting.
Social media, just as simple as someone having a massive night in a game, 50-point game on 90% from the field, do it in the playoffs.
Right.
Still a second-round merchant, do it in the playoffs.
Okay.
Or, oh, he's trash, do it in the
Okay.
That essentially, what's the point then? You know what I mean? It's different when it's just it's different when it's a playoff game. But if someone has a career night,
Enjoy that.
Enjoy it. Give them their praise.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, you're not going to get those kind of nights in the playoffs anymore. This isn't the Michael Jordan days where he's the only good player in the league. Like, the league is uber talented. Most of these teams are very, very stacked.
Yeah.
And in the playoffs, the possessions, I mean, even still, just you look at the play styles, the possessions slow down.
Yeah.
The defense is way better. The calls aren't as bad. I do agree with
Right.
you, Antoine, in the sense that refs play a part as well because they give these soft calls in the regular season. But I think in the regular season, there's just everyone's so hyper fixated on not getting injured. And at the same time, no one cares about the regular season. They just care about the postseason. Then, you know, at the end of the day, then why do we even have the regular season?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's almost kind of what it is.
That's a good point.
I'm going to piggyback.
Let me just ask this question to you, Anthony. So, based on your answer, is it because the majority of teams have learned how to manipulate the game by using rest and load management? Is that why we've seen a decline in interest in the regular season? You can answer this however you want to.
I think it plays a part in it, but it's not the main contributor. I think the main contributor is what he said, social media.
Okay.
Is that when, back in the day when LeBron, Melo, D-Wade dropped 40, the next day you would watch it on the Sports Center where they actually showed highlights and didn't debate about how good this 40-point performance was. They just literally showed the highlights.
Sports Center still exists. They still show the highlights every day.
Well, yeah, but there was no debate about
Right,
how
yeah. No debate shows. Is
it was
It's just
literally
modern day
just,
media.
it was literally just praising the player that we were watching in its glory and prime.
Yeah.
Now it's a debating. Oh, 40 points wasn't 40 points. This happened. It was terrible efficiency. He was playing against the Hornets team that's last place.
right, yeah.
But the load management, the NBA claims that they are the biggest international sport.
Yeah.
You have players, you have fans coming from every state, every country coming to the States to watch LeBron, Steph.
Right.
The list goes on and on.
Right.
And you have these fans that have grown up across the globe that got their one chance to come see their favorite player in LA, New York.
Mm-hmm.
They just got here and they just learned that LeBron is sitting out
Right.
their game they came to because of load management.
Right.
Or Kawhi is sitting out, and this fan has waited his entire life to be at this very moment in time and has got to watch his backup take his minutes and
Watch
have
LeBron look like a drip
no
board on the
joy.
bench.
Yeah.
That's the part that makes me upset, is that they're not. If you have to sit out for a health reason, by all means.
Mm-hmm.
But these guys are not load managing college, high school. I understand our body evolves once we get older. It becomes brittle. Our bones are more not as dense. Muscles.
No, they become
Tear.
more dense when you're
More
in
dense?
your
Yeah.
30s and 40s.
Because you're
They're
still,
more
you're,
dense.
Yeah, but I would think
we're
more.
our bodies are still technically developing.
Yeah.
At our age.
Yeah.
But they need to put.
That's why athletes don't reach their prime till their late 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need to put the fans in mind that these guys are coming
yeah.
to spend their money to see them play.
Yeah.
And LeBron is on the sideline.
But let me play devil's advocate here.
Having a glass
Yeah.
of wine
Let me
when
play
when he's supposed to be working.
Yeah. Let me play devil's advocate here though, because isn't competing in the NBA, isn't it just about winning championships? Like if you're not if you're playing in the NBA, right? The goal is to win championships, right?
Yeah.
So if load management and rest and all the other advanced statistics that go into that, if that all those things equal championships, what do you do as a player? And what do you do as the NBA, as the commissioner, to address this issue?
If there is a medical cleared reason that you cannot play in the certain game, certain day, at a certain time, you are excused. You are injured. You are placed on what the NFL and the MLB have, what is called an injured list. You are placed on that injured list for a certain amount of time, whether it be 10 to 15 days. After those 10 to 15 days are over, you have a designated plan to return. That is it. These guys are sitting out one game, come back the next. They're injured, in quotation marks, but are playing 3 days after. They're sitting out. They're not injured.
Right.
You have guys in the NFL that come back after a week. They're on a week-to-week basis, so they have more time to recover from a concussion in a week, more than an NBA player does. But if you're sitting out because you don't want to play, because you don't feel like playing, because you're a little sore, and you can't suit up, there's got to be some more critical.
No, but like I said though,
there has to be
the reason might be because they want to save their body for the playoffs to win a championship.
Well, you just
how do you address that?
You answered your own question. Then the regular season doesn't matter.
The regular season doesn't matter.
Essentially.
Okay, so but then the question becomes, as a commissioner, what do you do in that situation?
That's why the 65-game rule exists.
Exactly.
Because if you miss more than 17 games, you're leaving millions of dollars on the table as far as extension goes.
Right.
That's why Tyrese Halliburton played through those injuries.
Okay.
The fact that he missed $40 million because of that.
Right.
Yeah.
$40 million left on the table that's not in his back pocket.
Listen, if they got to hand down some suspensions that go into the next season or even playoff, then they'll make them play the regular season.
Okay.
If you got to give some playoff punishments, then they have to play the regular season. That's the only way that they're going to know.
And plus, the regular season should be important in winning a championship because
that's how you get there.
That's how you build up a groove. That's why we play the games.
Right.
Essentially, sorry.
We don't start from the playoffs. We start from the regular season.
That's right.
Exactly.
Right.
The season starts in October, not April.
Mm-hmm.
April's just when the games matter more. But it doesn't mean because in the regular season, obviously, you're not going to get eliminated when you lose. In the playoffs, every game means more. But that doesn't mean the regular season means nothing.
Mm-hmm.
In the regular season, you want to set yourself up to be successful in the playoffs to win.
Okay.
Yeah.
As the 1 seed, the 2 seed, the 3 seed.
Yeah.
You have an easier path. Not to say that the 8 and 7 seed could beat your ass.
Yeah.
In the first or second round. But you're setting yourself up.
You win so you can get an easier path.
Yeah.
And you have the home court advantage.
Yeah.
That's what you're setting yourself up for.
Okay.
That's why the regular season's important, to me at least. It's just not been. It's felt neglected.
Yeah.
Essentially.
I used to love the NBA regular season.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I used to love all of the performances that came up every night that were so notable, and fans were getting into it. I feel like fans now at regular season games, they're not even getting into it.
Yeah.
Unless you're at a Knicks or a Lakers game.
Yeah.
Even still, even if it's like a drab game, it's just the NBA regular season is falling off a lot.
Okay, I have one question.
Even the blowouts too.
One question for you. What are some adjustments the NBA can make for the regular season? Because we know they've already done some things.
Yeah.
But what else can they do to increase the excitement for the regular season games?
I'm going to be honest. I don't think there's anything they can do.
You can.
I think they've exhausted all avenues. I think everything's been done because the problem is if you add more stuff, you're putting more strain on the players.
The only way you make the regular season more entertaining is you shorten the season. That gives players less time to load manage, and you shorten it to a degree where it's a feasible amount of games that are played, where players should not have to load manage. I would probably say like around 40 to 50 game range.
Mm-hmm.
They're still going to
go from there.
They're still going to do it.
Yeah.
Kawhi's going to play 15 games a season if the season gets shortened. Shortening the season.
But then you're not making the playoffs.
Doesn't matter. But that's the thing. The 82-game season is perfect because it's clear that the 82 games is the perfect sample size because you could have a horrible first half of the season up until All-Star break, and you can easily get yourself back, i.e. the Dallas Mavericks, and they made the finals. If the season was only 54 games, they get eliminated before they even get a chance to make trades and improve from there. There's a lot less room for error in regards to that, and that's what makes the season entertaining is because there's so many different changes throughout the standings. Okay. And games being every night. If load managing 82 games, you're still playing more games than 54 or 47 or whatever. But look, this generation of NBA players are insanely soft. They've been given a very loose leash for a very long time. And at the end of the day, I think what we have is the right recipe. It's just a mentality problem. And I think that's just what it is because these, the NBA is in a much different spot now than it was years ago. The training regimens are way more strenuous and, everyone's bigger and the contact is there. You got these like 6'10", 250 tanks just bumping bodies with you. And, you're playing on a night in, night out basis every other night. The one thing I would do is eliminate back-to-backs. That's the one thing I would do. I think having games on back-to-back nights is absolutely ridiculous. That's when most players get hurt.
Yeah, that's true. Wow.
Yeah.
Never thought of that. That's
I brought up the thing with Julius Randle. He got the year before his contract year, he plays well. Kawhi and the Raptors goes there for a season. He plays his absolute ass off.
Contract
almost
year.
Every minute of that game where his body was literally, he was...
Just like this year.
He gets the money, and it's completely... We haven't seen him as he was on the Raptor days.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Where he was the best we've ever seen him.
Yeah, but that's because it's a contract year. If you take off a contract year, you're not going to get
that's
back.
my point, exactly. That's what the whole point of the contract year stuff.
Right, but you earn those contracts. These players need security.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, they are human. They're employees. They're human beings. And they need that security of knowing that they're set.
Yeah.
For those specific amount of time, just in case an injury happens.
Listen.
I have a solution for this.
What is the solution?
The solution is, all right, so what I've noticed is, like you said, when players are playing for a contract, the NBA is exciting. When players got their money, the NBA is less exciting because they're not playing as much. They're not playing with the same intensity that they had before. So the solution is everyone has to adopt the Russell Westbrook mentality of playing 100% every single night, no matter how much money you already got. Okay?
Well,
that's what every player has to do.
They also need
End of story.
The players also need to realize that once they get that money, they still have their job to do.
Yeah.
I feel like that they don't realize that. Oh, you're getting your money. Yes, but you still are going to work. You have to do your job.
Yeah.
And play the games. And
Most of them are doing that. There's a select few of players that don't.
yeah.
But I do.
It's a subconscious thing, I think.
If you're
Don't
Joel,
play as well.
if you're Joel Embiid, I understand your body. Work on that. Come back. I feel like Kawhi's more of milking the system more than Embiid is, just because Embiid's trying to play and we're seeing it, but it doesn't look physically right. Where he literally has Bell's palsy in the side of his face because he's putting in treatment to heal faster, and he's hurting his body more than it's helping his body. If Kawhi was doing that, that'd be fucking great. Get out on the court and play. But I don't want you getting Bell's palsy in your face.
Right. Essentially. But I do think eliminating back-to-backs. I think restricting games to either every other day or every 2 days, or every 3 days technically, I think that's the best sort of method because that's when players sit out, is the second half of a back-to-back. Right. It's always a strategic thing. But on the other end of things, it does give the younger guys an opportunity. Because without load management, there wouldn't be, a random bench guy going off and getting himself a bigger contract.
True.
So there definitely is a trade-off with it. It's just, I think, unfortunately, the NBA regular season has become a byproduct of social media, essentially. And that's essentially what drags it down.
Okay.
I think that's mainly been the driving force, has been social media. Because, no one cares until the playoff starts. And that just is what it is. And that's just something that the NBA has to you have to swallow that pill. Because even though the in-season, even the in-season tournament, once the in-season tournament ended, because I watched pretty much every Nets game until February of last season, the effort level after December 10th just completely plummeted. You just weren't seeing that same sort of fire because they're playing for a big bonus. So that's kind of my 2 cents on the NBA regular season.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Love it.
So
great answers.
I think that's the most heated we've got.
Yeah, I think so. It's definitely been good conversation.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, any final thoughts on shower thoughts?
No.
Well, it'll be my turn next week to come up with a good question. I got to find a good one. I got to follow that. That's going to be tough because that was a good question. But, ladies and gentlemen, with that brings us to the end of episode 13 of the Floor Spacer podcast. Lads, we've done the Baker's Dozen. How we feeling?
We doing it.
Yeah.
We doing it.
We're
That's all I gotta
exhausted.
say.
It's
We're tired.
11
It's late.
o'clock at night, and we have to refilm 2 shorts.
And I have to wake up at 5 a.m.
And he's
5:30
like
a.m.
5:30 a.m.
We'll give you the extra half hour. But, Gio, it's that time in the video. For those that are still with the flow, what should they comment below?
Buzz cut.
Buzz.
Buzz?
Comment buzz in the comments.
That is crazy. Bro's hair. What happened? Wara transformation. We both transformed. I had like longer hair, long ass beard.
Yeah.
It's all gone now. He looks the same as per usual. But yeah, comment buzz if you're still with the flow of the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys did enjoy, make sure you drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. We're on the road to 2K. 2K24. No. Make sure you also hit the little bell. That way you're notified every single time we upload, which is every day. If you're on Spotify, make sure you follow us on there. Give us a 5-star rating. You know the drill. Follow us on our socials at Floor Spacer Pod, and obviously our main ones. Make sure you follow Gio's Twitter. It's going to be a requirement to get that man to 1 million Twitter followers. It's a must. I know he wants to delete the app so bad, but that ain't happening.
Twitter is a gift.
No.
Twitter's okay.
Twitter is a
comment.
Bro, Prince told me yesterday. Shout out Prince. He'll just open Twitter to look at your profile picture and just start laughing.
Twitter is a gift. From the
I forgot what it
gods.
even is.
It's you with the 3D glasses. You're like, I love it. But yeah, make sure you go follow Gio on Twitter. You know, Gio's going to be more active on there. He's going to start posting daily vlogs of himself. But yeah,
Give everybody a daily fit check and the mirror pick.
Oh, that'd be fire, bro.
But please have clothes on.
Gio,
Daily fit check.
And please have socks on.
buzzed
No
fits.
holes.
Buzzed fits.
No, no free
fits.
feed pics.
You're right.
Because then you're gonna get all the people in your DMs asking for the feed pics.
They are. They will be there.
In literally a split second.
Anthony will be on the.
I will be.
He's the
I
main
will.
culprit.
I have the notifications on. No.
Wow.
Interesting. Rapidly moving on from that.
Yes. Thank you.
But yeah, obviously there's Olympic basketball is starting to ramp up. The Olympics are in a few weeks.
There's
so
a game on right now that we should be watching.
Yes, there is. Canada's winning right now.
Oh, really?
Nets coach Jordy Fernandez.
Yo, Team USA is in the mud.
Jordy-
Team USA is in the mud.
Jordy Fernandez is a defensive mastermind.
In the mud.
But
Where can I find a box score?
I don't know. But
You'll-
before we head out for the day, lads, do we have any final words for the lovely viewers at home? Any messages, any comments, any questions, any whatever?
Do not load manage. Load management's for pussies.
Yeah. What he said.
Play your fucking games.
Yeah. Paid millions of dollars.
I am not coming to Madison Square Garden to watch Jacob Toppin
And Jericho
start
Sticks.
on the floor, even though I love the Toppin brothers. But no.
Just play your games. That is the moral of the story. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is it from us. We hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all for watching. We love you all endlessly. And we'll see you all in episode 14.